What's up, guys? How are we? I totally forgot to fix my settings over here on TikTok. I'm so sorry. Uh, I'm sorry. I feel bad. You'll notice I'm super short today. I've got my chair down a little low. Oh, I feel so bad. I did not mean to have this back up again as super fan only live stream thing. Anyway, it is what it is. How are you? How is your day? I feel weird because I look normal on TikTok and up here I'm short because I'm trying to get all of this and you still can't see some of the carborundum. So what I'm going to say is I would recommend that you guys, yeah, I don't want to do that. I would recommend that you guys watch both. We're trying to fix this craziness on TikTok over here with the why this is only doing, it's my fault. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Don't you love it? I used to have this easy little thing, and now they don't. Go to your gear mod settings. All right, let's see. Nope, still doesn't turn it off. It'll only let me do it whenever I'm right there about to log in, and I don't understand why. It's stupid. It's dumb. Yeah, I don't understand. I've even tried like clicking on the superfan stuff, on the goals, on all of that. I don't understand why it's doing what it's doing. Y'all get to watch me flounder a little bit because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I don't know why they had to make this so damn hard. So I am making Shanna a moderator here. Shanna is my wonderful friend that is that runs Unique Paranormal 1.5. But let's get to it because I can't figure that damn shit out on TikTok. It's pissing me off, and that's what's happening. And that's what's happening. It's pissing me off. So we're just gonna say, you know what? We're just gonna calmly not say anything. That I don't like them. They've made it really hard for things to happen, and it's easy. It's easy. I can get it done like this on the other one. However, it ain't easy being cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy. Like I can't, there's not even a button anymore for anything at all that has to do with the superfan. And I don't understand why it's now superfan. I don't understand that either. So, yeah. So I feel like an old person just sitting here like staring at shit. Come on. It's funny. You guys know it's funny. Y'all know it's funny. All right, hold on a minute, TikTok. There we go. Yeah, I don't understand. The button is completely gone. So for those of you guys on TikTok, if you can't comment, please go over and watch on YouTube, because at least you can comment there and it's right there. But let's get to it. Let me pull up my list here for this evening. So I'm going to tell you guys, kind of show you guys the stones I'm using this evening, because these are much different than the ones I used before when I did this. And those of you guys up here on YouTube, let's do this. I don't think I can. Oh, this is like the worst live stream. Like the worst live stream. I'm just kidding. So here's what we got. So this right here is a huge piece of celestite. It's basically half a geode. And celestite is for connection to higher realms. It's divine guidance. I got my little cheat sheet up here because my brain goes. It helps with like peace and calm and clarity, especially for those of you guys just starting out with a spiritual awakening. This is my big favorite piece of clear quartz over here. This is for amplification of any of these. It's also a master healer. It's for clarity. It's for connection to the higher self. This piece back here, I know you guys can't see it very well. I'm going to carefully hold it up. I have to be careful with it because it does chip and splinter a little bit. You can't tell how green quartz. It has a ton of clear quartz points in the back. I got this piece at the Denver Gem Show last year. It is from Morocco, and I absolutely love it. But this is to bring protection. It's for willpower and abundance and luck and healing and balancing your emotional self and your physical self. This piece right here is Epido and clear quartz. There's a ton of tiny clear quartz in there. I'm not going to pick it up because it is a little fragile, which is why it's in the middle very carefully. Epido is for an expansion of personal power. Like, if y'all don't own a piece of Epido, I'm just saying. EPIDOT or DOTE. But this also helps to amplify what you carry with you, good or bad. So if you're carrying good stuff with you, it'll amplify that. It also helps with letting go of negativity and spiritual growth. And then we're going to talk about this one right here. And yes, it is as glittery as it looks on camera, and even more so, it's not quite showing how gorgeous. This is like an oil slick, basically. It is not a lovey stone. It is a man-made crystal, but it's one of my favorites, and I'm going to tell you why. And when I tell you what it's for, you're going to want it. You're going to want it. Carborundum is really cheap, and you like this one right here is more of a blue oil slick color, okay? You can find it in pink, purple. You ready for what it's for? It's a shielding stone. It banishes... Thank you, Wendy. It banishes negativity, enhances intuition. It's for psychic protection, and it promotes clarity and manifestation. You going to run and get you a piece, aren't you? You're going to run and get you a piece, aren't you? I fucking love carborundum. It's one of my favorite stones. I know some people have this big blah about man-made stones. I don't care. I don't care. Because you know what? I look at it like this. People are natural anyway, right? It's natural for people to exist. If people were smart enough to make something like this, if people were smart enough to make the gorgeous, like the sandstone, sunstone that you guys see everywhere, which is a byproduct of watchmaking, by the way. Come on. I'm just saying. This right here is a piece of brick from my church. It is the church itself is over 100 years old. So this is a lot of collective memory, sacred space, grounding, has imprints of prayer and devotion and history, and helps with protection and legacy. And then this piece back here is the last one that we're going to talk about. And then I'm going to start the reads. This is a huge piece of blue kyanite and clear quartz. And blue kyanite is to help align all your chakras, especially the throat, the third eye. It's for communication, honesty, and spiritual truth. The one thing I love about blue kyanite is it cannot hold negative energy. It just can't. It is self-cleansing. So it will help kind of calm down, align all your chakras. Y'all are going to get blue kyanite tomorrow, aren't you? But kyanite is Kyanite. Blue is one of my, be very careful with it, because if you drop it, it does splinter. I have a big piece that broke the other day, and it's still this big, but it's splintered everywhere. So what we're going to do, if y'all missed the readings last week, is I am going to be holding this ribbon up and dropping it down on top of this. I will probably raise my chair up a little bit because I feel like super short. I feel super short, so we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. But I'm going to drop this on there, and I'm going to read where it falls and what that means for you. And what's really funny is I have a little thin ribbon that I usually use. I put those ribbons in a bag so I wouldn't forget them. That's the keywords, all the keywords, so I wouldn't forget them. And then I can't find them. So this one in particular, y'all gonna know it has this weird little thing at the end. This one came off of one of my masks that I bought at the French Quarter, in New Orleans in 2022. During the move, it came off of the back of the mask, and I thought, what better thing to use? What better thing to use? Just saying. All right. So here's who I have first. How do I have two Stephanie G's? I have Stephanie G and Stephanie G. Two different Stephanies. So Stephanie Graham is first. How does that work out? How does that work out? Ooh, that started to fall off my whole desk right there. All right. So we're going to hold it. I find it interesting that it hit and then started to slide. There's enough pokey stuff up here to catch the ribbon. It's sitting perfectly between the quartz and then the aventurine pyrite and completely across the epidote and quartz. What this tells me is, for you right now, Stephanie, this is an expansion of your spiritual self, of your personal power, of all of the things that you've been, I'm going to say acting on. That's why I didn't want to do that, because I knew it was going to fall. Acting on, okay? Because when we make up our mind that we're tired of just being in this lane or this level or here or whatever, when we're tired of that, that is when we take steps to purposely be more, to purposely be better, bigger, etc. And that's exactly what you're doing and what you've been doing. And I think that this has been a hardcore shift for you within the last 3 months specifically. You feel like everything you do is amplified. You feel like everything that's coming in is also amplified. So what sucks is that's good and bad. You feel like when it's bad, it's really, really fucking bad. When it's good, it's really, really fucking good. The other thing is this. You need to be really careful of what you're saying and what you're putting out into the universe right now. Because remember how I pointed out that this fell right here and didn't land on any of these? This thing right here is spiky as hell. It should have caught that ribbon if it fell on it. It's not friendly. It's not a friendly stone. For this to fall and then land. Stephanie, you are in a really, really intense time of spiritual growth right now. So here's kind of what sucks about it. When we go through an intense spiritual growth period, an intense growth of our own personal power, we lose friends along the way. It's not, some of them we lose, like we have to cut them off because we realize they weren't really our friend to begin with. We lose them because they just kind of fade off into the distance, right? We lose other people, other situations, things that we thought were always going to be there. but they weren't meant to go on our path with us and like continue to go on our path with us. I'm going to say that the next probably 2 months, you're going to feel like you're disconnected from the things that you used to feel super connected to. And unfortunately, welcome to a spiritual awakening, and welcome to growing your personal power. That's what happens. But for you, this is exactly what you've been asking for, exactly what you've been manifesting, exactly what you've been working on. It's a good thing. Keep in mind, though, that anything that comes out of your face is going to get amplified. So if you are in a bad mood, it's best that you just don't say anything, because then the universe is not going to take that and run with it. If you're in a bad mood, just, bare minimum communication. Good mood, however, all the good things need to come out of your face. They'll be amplified. I think that at the end of these next 2 months, you're really going to find out that the reason you have felt disconnected is because you were being put on a higher level, if that makes sense. This is exactly what you asked for, what you manifested, Stephanie. It's just not coming in the package you expected it to come in, if that makes sense. Now we have Stephanie Garland. I'm going to try one more time to see if I can figure out where to fix this. If any of you guys over here on TikTok know where the button went, if you know where the button went, I don't understand. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. All right. Stephanie Garland is next. I couldn't get it off my finger. That was crazy. All right. So yours starts over here around the edge of the blue kyanite, comes up over the brick, twists itself, and then comes down, back around, really over a huge piece of quartz. Girl, if you're not taking the time to honor your past right now, I was going to say I'm going to come over and kick you in the leg, but if you're not taking the time to honor your past right now, you need to. The fact that this comes up and it twists right there, see it? That is a whole bunch of past imprints of amazing things, past imprints of you. No matter how you grew up, no matter what it is you practice, what it is, did you grow up in church? Did you not grow up in church? Like, no matter how you grew up, all of those things were still a part of you. And even though I teach people from all different practices, and a lot of my students grew up, in the church and so on, keep in mind that is still a part of you. And at one time that made you feel something in here. Even if you don't feel it now, it made you feel something in here. It gave you the little goosebumpies on your arms. You felt it, right? That's still a part of you. You don't have to just destroy it or throw it away because now you practice something else. Okay? The fact that this curves up and around, you need to be honoring that past you. Ancestors are a huge thing. And I know sometimes people think that ancestor work is only for certain practices. And that's not the case at all. Every single practice honors ancestors, including Christianity. Every single person that I have ever met in my life does something to honor ancestors. Grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, mom, dad, whatever. You do something to honor them. Whether it's having photos out, having an item of theirs out. Maybe every Christmas you put a little trinket out that grandma got you, or you know, make grandpa's favorite potatoes or whatever. That's ancestor veneration. That is following, honoring, and paying attention to the things that your ancestors taught you, showed you, the things that are a part here on the blue kyanite. Y'all are gonna have to forgive me for the yawns tonight. I'm still exhausted from this move. The fact that it starts over here on this kyanite tells me that there's been a lot of calm come into your life lately. Sometimes calm can look like being shut out of something. Sometimes calm can look like losing things being removed from your life, because those were toxic things, those were heavy things, those were things that no longer belonged there. So keep in mind, when you guys are asking for peace and calm and so on, that can come with a healthy dose of bye-bye for some things. You've had a lot of calm come in, a lot of things leave your path, and now you have this amazing tie back to who you are and who you were. One thing I always recommend to people, especially if they're just starting on their spiritual path, they're just trying to figure out where they are in the grand scheme of grand schemeness, find out where your family comes from. Find out where your family comes from. I personally recommend Ancestry.com. I am not affiliated with them. I don't get anything for saying that. The only reason that I personally like Ancestry, A, they're not selling their company and selling your DNA right now. And B, on your family tree, it will automatically populate those things. And Ancestry has been around for a very long time. So there are a lot of people all over the world that have put in the information and photos and documentation and so on. You can find a lot about your family through that, and that's what I would recommend. Okay, if you don't know where your lineage comes from, do something like that. That will get you a list of all the things. The one thing I do not like about Ancestry, let's talk about that real quick before you guys are like, well, I don't like that the DNA changes. Okay, so when I first did mine, I didn't do mine till 2020. My mom's side, or is this on your dad's side with health stuff? And my brain was like, oh yeah, my dad's had a stroke, a heart attack, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but I'm not blood related to him. Like, that's technically my stepdad. So shit. Okay, I better find out about my family, right? It gives you percentages of what you are. And as more people get their DNA done, your percentage is going to shift. So check back with it a lot. That's the only thing that I dislike about Ancestry. That's the only thing I dislike about it. Everything else I have fully enjoyed. All right. So, Stephanie, be honoring your ancestors, be finding out where you come from, and know that once you really start digging into your ancestors and the practices and the places that they come from, all of your spiritual stuff is going to get amplified, because the end of this comes right on this big knob of just clear quartz. Know that the more calm you bring in, the more people and situations are going to be removed from your life. Okay? Just know that that's a thing. Know that that's a thing. Macey J is next. I like that big ball on the end of there is sitting right here on the brick. It comes up and then it barely comes over and touches that epidote. Goes over the carborundum. Girl, you have a lot going on. You have a lot going on. Like, let me not blow. Let me not blow the ribbon off of what I'm reading. You have a lot going on. There's a lot of growth. there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of grief, and there's a lot of manifestation with abundance. In other words, this is a crazy up and down, up and down, up and down aspect. And I'm sorry. This is a lot, Macey. I do love that you have really strong roots. Firmly up in the brick, that tells me that you have very strong roots. You have very strong roots to yourself, to your family, to your ancestors, your DNA. Like, you have a very strong sense of who you are. Doesn't mean we all know where we're going or where we should be, but who you are. You're working on your personal power. And the reason I say that is because I know it's a little hard to see. You can see it a little better on YouTube than you can on TikTok, but this comes up and then down like that. So it's only touching the epidote, like really right there and right there on that little personal power. Y'all, nobody can do that for you. Nobody can boost your personal power for you. It's you. You have to take responsibility for that, and you have to be the one that learns how to speak up. I wish that I could just go and snap my fingers, and then suddenly you would be able to speak the perfect words that would amplify your personal power. But I can't. I can't. It's not a thing. I can't do it. Nobody can do it. Nobody can do it. Just so you know. There are people that are going to tell you they can all day long. They can't. Shenanigans. Just call shenanigans. They can't do it. Okay? Thank you for all of the super chats over there. The other thing about gaining your personal power, I'm super proud of you for that, Macey, because some people want personal power. They want to be able to do these things, but they don't ever want to take the time to actually do it. They don't ever want to take the time to actively grow as a person. You are. When that happens, and when you start actively trying to grow as a person, then this happens up here. So how this ribbon comes down this carborundum, as you're trying to grow your personal power and yourself as a person, all the negativity comes in. Because the universe loves to throw tests at you. And I want you to really remember this, Macey, okay? The universe loves to throw tests at you. And when you think that you are on the amazing, right path to go and be getting stuff done and get this personal power, then the universe is going to throw so much negative bullshit at you. It's not even funny, because that's a test. You want personal power, there's going to be a lot of negativity that comes at. I mean, it just is. Okay? But I love that this it's almost like this clearing pattern out here before you get up here. This negativity and the things that are hitting you has really got you in your own feelings a lot. This is a good time for you to find a way that you can center yourself and calm down. And I'm just going to tell you real quick, one of the ways that I learned really hardcore to be able to center myself when I was real upset is that I found, so in Tulsa, there is a Buddhist temple here, and the grounds are phenomenally gorgeous. They are phenomenally gorgeous. And I found that when I turned my damn phone off and I went out, and most of the time I would leave my phone in the car. And I went and I sat by a statue or under a tree or just on a bench, and I was just quiet. And everything around me was quiet. That's when I was able to really deal with letting go of the negative bullshit and really be able to process my own feels. Because when you're going through this phase of becoming more and all this negativity is hitting you and so on, that is the time for you to say, you know what? I need a break. I'm going to go and kind of just talk to myself and ground and so on, and sit and just become quiet. It's hard. It's hard, especially when your brain's like, yeah, well, so-and-so said this, and then tomorrow you got to do this, and then this, and this. You have to be able to tell your brain to shut the hell up. And that's hard. But this is a good time for you how to deal with some of the grief and so on that's still hanging in there, so you can move up to this, because this doesn't touch the epidote. It just comes right up like a little bridge and just lays flat right there. I see you over there, Macey. I see that you're working towards something humongous. I see that you have really amazing goals. I see that you're really working on yourself as a person. And I know that right now it's hard as fuck because you feel like you're all alone. I promise that if you keep going, sooner rather than later, much sooner rather than later, it's worth it. I promise. It's worth it. It's worth it. I promise. Okay? Hey, Scarly. The question you sent me, yes, that is correct. That is correct. All right. Riina is next. Just shake it all out. Who started singing Shake It Like a Polaroid Picture? Just out of curiosity. I love that that landed in a spiral. I'm not going to lie. You can see it really, really good on YouTube. I love that it landed in a spiral. So for me, this little notch right here is the beginning of the ribbon. It's the first part, and then this is the end. So I love that this starts in a place of, it starts in a place of really intense, deep connection. Connection to a higher level, connection to clarity and spiritual awakening and so on. And also a connection to that calm part of you. It moves over into this, and it completely touches the carborundum all right there. It falls down between the carborundum and the epidote, but it touches the carborundum that from there to there. This is almost like a ship that got barnacles on the side, and you're like, nope, and you just scraped them all off. Like, I can even hear it like as you go by, like scraping all the negativity off. What's interesting here is that the ribbon is on its side right there. So it's very finely, touches really good right there, and then goes completely down around on top of the quartz and comes back. You're in the process of going full circle. You've already passed the full circle part. So where you started your journey was a place where you felt like you had this amazing connection. Once you had this amazing connection, you scraped off all of the negativity and the bullshit, and then you started to get a jolt of personal power and of spiritual growth, amplification for the good things that you are putting out into the universe. And then you went through this phase of abundance, and then a crazy phase of clarity and amplifying all of those gifts and everything you are learning, and then right back in. This is going to be a cycle for you. And I would bet that you're going to have this cycle happen probably, you know what, the number 4 keeps sticking in my head. So 4 times, and you've already gone around 1. So 3 more times. I think that it's going to get tighter and tighter until it's not so much time in between some of these different steps, and start to go like this. I'd be curious to see in about 2 years where you are and where your trajectory is going to go. Is it going straight up? Is it going to continue to go back around? I don't think that it's going to continue to go back around, but it is going to just shoot straight up. One thing I'm going to caution you about with this circle is letting it get too fast. Does that make sense? Because if you don't get just the right amount of that negativity off, if you don't get just the right amount of this personal power and just the right amount of this clarity, then it's going to throw everything off. You know what I mean? So instead of it being how it's supposed to be, and it's a cycle back and forth, if it gets too lopsided, then you're going to forget some pieces and this cycle can break. So just be careful and make sure that as you're going through this cycle, you're dumping off the amount of negativity that you need to dump off. And what I'm going to kind of liken this to is, I know you guys have all seen some of the science fiction movies where they're on a spacecraft or they're on a plane, or there's a movie where they're on a boat or whatever, and they can't seem to take off, or they can't seem to move very fast, and they got to dump cargo. That's what this is like. You have to dump this negative bullshit cargo so you can continue to go forward. So make sure that you're doing that. Okay? Thank you, Ms. Shanna W is next. I'm drinking coffee super late tonight. It's 8 o'clock and I'm drinking coffee. Gotta love it. But I do have the cutest little villains mug. And it says Essence of Beauty on it. I mean, I forgot I bought it. All of the coffee. All right. Ready, Shannon? So what this tells me is you came up out of a place of really nasty negativity. I know on YouTube and on TikTok, you can see that really well. Like the base of this is way down in there. You came out of the dark. You're like Bane. You was born in the dark. You came out of this crazy place of darkness and went through a time of nasty ass negativity. And then you kind of are out here in the void for a long time. Like this is a big swatch of the ribbon that's out here in the void. And then you come across this amazing section of peace. And I think that you're starting to go into this part right now. And that's why it kind of ends right here. By dragging yourself across all of this right here, that is just this nasty negativity. And then allowing yourself to kind of float out in the void for a while. And I know some people are like, well, why would you want to float in the void? Why would you want to be in the void, etc.? The void is not bad. No phase of your spiritual self, of your spiritual awakening, is bad or good. And I want you guys to keep that in mind. It's not bad and it's not good. It's balance. Are there going to be good things? Yes. Are there going to be bad things? Yes. Currently bad. The void is like the hallway. And if you guys have followed me for any length of time, then you've heard me talk about the void being like the hallway. You have to have it. You have to have it. The hallway is how you get from one place to another. If you didn't have the hallway, you couldn't get from your bedroom to the bathroom to the kitchen. You couldn't get from the living room to your laundry room to the kids' room. Do you see what I mean? You have to have that hallway to get from room to room. Could you go from room to room without the hallway? Yes. But then maybe you got to go through 3 bedrooms before you can get to the bathroom. And what if they got the door locked? I'm just saying. What if they got the door locked? You have to have the hallway. Being in the void and allowing yourself to fully feel those aspects of the void is not a bad thing either. Does it suck? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. Do you just want to be like, I want to go there? No. The void sucks. But I'm proud of you for spending this much time in the void. Because it means when you hit this phase right here, which is an amazing, amazing spiritual connection, an amazing aspect of you being calm and peaceful and offering a peaceful place and peaceful energy for other people to be in, which gets addicting to people that are trying to take advantage of it. But that's a whole other story. And now you're coming into this phase of you that is all personal power. That is all protection from a lot of this negative shit. It's all transformation. It's all growth. And look, it ends in abundance. I mean, who would not like for all of this bullshit that you're going through to end in abundance? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I hope that makes sense, Shannon. It's confirmation is what this is for you. This is confirmation. Yes, you've been doing the right thing. Yes, you taking the time to be in the void, to clear that negativity, to cut negative people up. Like, you taking the time to do all of these things right is exactly what needed to happen. And not only is that exactly what needed to happen, but it has made you a stronger human being. I'm proud of you for that, because a lot of people try to not stay in the void and not deal with the negative. I'm proud of you for that. It may not seem like it right now, but all of those amazing, big, huge things that you've been manifesting, they're starting to all click and fall into place. I think that well before probably Thanksgiving, Christmas, you're going to start to see every single amazing thing that you've been manifesting just fall into place. I mean, we're all here for that. We're all here for that. All right. Amy Turner is next. Ready? So the beginning of yours is right here in the middle of the carborundum. All of the clearing of the negativity, like, just starts there. Then it comes down over the epidote. It touches right here on the aventurine and pyrite. It comes across the blue kyanite and then down. It just barely touches the brick, like right there, and then out into the void. This is kind of what's coming, and I want to talk about it because I want you, A, to be a little prepared for it, and B, I want to make sure that you understand that this is not a bad thing that's coming, okay? One, where you started, and you might still be in this, I think you're still right here, right now, is letting go of literally anything that is negative in your life. And that is hard as fuck. It's hard as fuck. When you have to let go of, I mean, we're all like, oh no, I'm going to let go of the negative. It was our best friend or a significant other or a job or whatever. So when you start realizing that some of the negative stuff and the toxic stuff that's been around you are people and places and situations that, and I'm sorry, because that's also a very hard place to be. Right now, you're kind of on this up and over right here, like up and over the chasm onto this personal power aspect, the protection from the negative shit, the amplification of what you carry in you. The fact that you start off here with this negative letting go of it aspect tells me that you are actively trying to put good out into the world, that you're not trying to just sit and stay in a negative mindset or sit and put negative shit out into the world. You're actively trying to put good out. It may not click in your head for a little while that good is starting to come back into you, because like I said, you're right here and you're coming over into this personal power aspect. But I want you guys to think of this, okay? So I am that person that I even annoy myself with this so before you guys are like, ugh, I even annoy myself with this. I am that person that I firmly believe that everything happens for a reason. Even the most horrendous stuff. And I know some of you guys are like, what? But I want you to think about something in this way, okay? Let's say that you get laid off from a job that you had for a long time. You were planning to stay at it for a long time. You loved that job, right? You get laid off and you're crushed. But instead of going home, you decide that you're going to, maybe you live somewhere where you have a favorite spot you go, the beach or the mountains or a park or whatever. So instead of going home, you go and you sit in your favorite place. You sit there for a little bit and then you go home. And then you hear that you would have been in it. Okay? So the immediate thing is you're like, oh, wow, I dodged a bullet. I'm glad I went to the park, or I'm glad I went to the beach or the mountains. You immediately are like, wow, I dodged a bullet. Well, then let's say that you start looking for another job, and after you get in the job and you start doing the job, you realize this is your dream job. This is the job you've been manifesting. You absolutely love this job. You're getting paid more. The benefits are better. Like, you realize that everything is way better at this new job than it was at the one that laid you off. And then maybe you find out as you're in this new job that there's a whole bunch of people at the job that laid you off that caused the whole company to crash, right? And they took a whole bunch of people down with them. And maybe it's bad enough that people are getting charges out of it. You just dodged a huge bullet, even though you were just manifesting a raise, a promotion for your highest good in this company you'd worked at for a long time. So you getting laid off was a bad thing. It was a horrible thing to you, but it ended up being one of the best things that could have happened. So when things happen and things are removed, don't be too quick to just get upset about it. You know what I mean? Don't be too quick to just, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. You don't know that yet. Okay? I think that right now you're here on this bridge and you're coming into this amazing aspect of personal power, of a connection to the divine, of amplifying every single thing that you've been putting out into the universe. This is also a major amount of transformation right here. So hold on to your butt. Hold on to your butt. The fact that it touches this pyrite, the aventurine pyrite, and then comes around the blue kyanite like that, that is a lot of willpower, protection, and just realigning yourself with realigning your chakras, realigning your energy, all of the woo-woo stuff that we love, but we also love to make fun of. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a major alignment of you. So you're fixing to go through this massive jolt of personal power and then an amazing alignment of you. And notice how the ribbon goes down and it literally goes way out here. Y'all can't see it, but it goes way out here. It ends out here. In the void. Off the fur. In the void. I'm not saying that, oh, it's going to be great and then it's going to suck. Because the void doesn't always suck for everyone. Keep that in mind. The void is a hallway, and the void is going to get you where you need to go. Okay? Do I get to read for William? I get to read for William. What's up? What's up, William? I don't know where he is. I was hoping he was here. All right. We ready? Well, that's interesting. Because your ribbon goes way out here. Way out there. So the start of this ribbon is right here on the carborundum, and it's actually up. Instead of it laying flat, it's actually sitting up sideways. I know that you just went through an intense period of loss and an intense period of grief. You're still in this grief aspect. I'm going to say that you're also kind of still right here in this aspect. You're still in the aspect of, you're still in the aspect of, sorry, I just realized that there was something there I wanted to fix. There we go. You're still in the aspect of letting go. You're still in the aspect of grief. You're still in the aspect of healing. You're still in the aspect of trying to find your footing again. And I think when you are ready to step into your own personal power, I almost said again, but I don't think that's right. Here's one of the other things where something bad can turn into something good. When I lost my mom in 2014, it blindsided my sister and I. It blindsided all of us, the whole family. Because I realized how much I was holding my own self back. I didn't realize how much I was just coasting along. I didn't realize how much I was just sitting still, just sitting there. Does that make sense? I was going through the motions, right? When I lost my mom, and this happens to everybody that has a big loss like that, a parent, a sibling, a significant other, you as an adult have an intense loss, right? You go crazy. Y'all all know it's true. You go a little crazy. And you do anything you can to help you deal with that grief. My way of dealing with any emotion is work. I'm not gonna lie. It's work. Work is my happy place. Work is my safe place. I know that when I come in, I write articles, I can see them go on the thing. When I am doing readings, I can sit here and talk to you guys. Do you see what I mean? When everybody's processing grief, they're processing it in a different way. So you throw yourself into something. For me, it was work. For some people, it might be video games. For some people, it might be alcohol. For some people, it might be family. Do you see, every single one of you guys throw yourself into something big to deal with that grief. So what did I do? I not only threw myself into work, but then I also started taking classes, night classes. So I would work from 8 to 5. I would go home, kiss my kids, grab some shit, get to class, be home at about 9 o'clock in time to tuck my kids in, take a shower, and faceplant. And then get up and do it again. Every single day but Sunday. And it got to be a lot. It got to be a lot, right? But I'm not going to lie. Being able to do that showed me that I was capable of so much more than just coasting through. Just continuing to fucking coast through. And I think, William, that's where you are. I think that's where you are right now. You're fixing to come into this amazing amount of personal growth and personal power. Because you're going to understand that everything you've been through with that loss has been showing you how strong of a person you actually are. We like to think that we're strong, right? We like to think that mentally we're a powerhouse, right? But you don't know until you're in that situation. Just like you would like to think that you are going to run in that burning building and save that kitten. You're going to run in that burning building and save that person. You would like to think you're that person, right? Until you get there and there are the flames in front of you. And some people just can't. They're running the other way. It says nothing against or for anybody if they run into the building or they run away. It says nothing for or against you. But what I'm trying to make you guys think about is that you don't know how you're going to react until you're in that situation. And now you're in that situation, William, and you're heading into this personal power, this amazing jolt of personal power. That's going to bring you back to a lot of these past ancestral ties and blessings and memories and sacred spaces and so on. It's going to be a lot of imprintation of your mom and of that history and so on, and the protection that comes with that. What I want to talk about though is this. So this ribbon kind of twists and then goes way out as an open road. I don't think this right here is going to take very long. I think this is maybe 2 to 3 months, if that. And then this road is wide open for you to do whatever it is you want to do. It is wide open for you to be whoever it is you want to be. And the last thing I want to say before I move on to Josh is, you guys realize that it's never too late to change who you are, to be who you want to be something else. It's never too late to start over. I don't care if you're 92. It's never too late to do something. Josh is next. Josh, I thought you were going on vacation. I thought you were going on vacation. Oh, thank you. Yes, I would love that. I would love that. Let me see. So the thing is, the subscription thing is gone. Like, there's no more button that says subscription. It's gone. Because that's what I used to do. But, yeah, it's gone. That button isn't there anymore for me. So, like, if I click on it, yeah, that button isn't there. I'm going to look one more time to see if maybe I'm just, my brain hurts. But even under comment settings and all of that, yeah, it's just gone. Oh, see, Laura found it too. It became super fan, and now that's that step-by-step guide on how to turn off like subscriber only comments. Yeah, it's gone, and I hate it, and it's dumb. It's dumb. I wish that they would quit changing it. It just changed, I want to say last week, Christine. It just changed like last week. So it may not have caught up. And now I get to prove that it is me. Oh, you're leaving on Friday. I see you over there, Josh. So, for those of you guys that are here hanging out, listed for the rest of the week, that is spooky, all capitals, for 13% off all tickets. Shanna, who is my friend from Unique Paranormal, reminded me that it's been a long time since I did any kind of aura drawings, etc. So, over the next few days, I will be doing some very unique ones, some new ones, and I can't wait. And some of you guys that I owe drawings to, we're going to be reaching out to find out if you would rather have one of those or the original one you ordered. So just know that that's going to be a thing. But if you haven't got on that list yet, you should do so. Aw, I love that you remember I'm going on vacation. It truly means so much. You remember that. Aw, well, I mean, I can't remember what I did today, but I can remember that you're going on vacation, Josh. I try. I've been doing this a long time, and I am horrible with names at this point in my life. I used to really pride myself that I would remember people's names. Yeah, no. My brain's an ass. It's like, what's up, guy? You know? But you know what? I can remember that you're going on vacation to Greece. I can remember the reading I told you that said that this is going to be like an amazing life-changing event. Oh, I didn't mean to hit you. I'm so sorry. I can remember, you know, things about like William, who I just read for, that, you know, him and his mom used to watch me. And I can remember, you know, all the candle, the handmade candle I made for him a year ago. I can remember things like that. So yeah. So yeah. Brains are fun. All right, Josh, here we go. Ready? Okay, well, I mean, I'm not upset about that. So y'all can't see it. It comes, the start of it is right here. You guys can kind of see it. And then it comes down and around and then back down, but it stops right here. In other words, it is encircling abundance. It's encircling this stone back here, and where all of these big huge blades of quartz are. But this is pyrite and aventurine, and so this is abundance. It's luck. It's healing your heart. It's opportunity. And I find it funny that I talked about that I can remember exactly where it is you're going on vacation, and the reading that I gave you about said vacation. Make this shit up. This is where I say you can't make this shit up. I literally just said, I remember the reading that I gave you that is that this vacation is going to be a crazy, life-changing experience. And then I moved and it fell. We're going to put it right back up there. Stay up there. This stone right here is to bring in opportunities. It's to bring in abundance. It's to bring in balancing out emotion with prosperity. It's also willpower and protection and just overall abundance. Like, this stone is one of my favorite ones that I own in my office. And I wish the cameras did it justice, because it's this gorgeous deep mint green with these dark pieces. I wish that the cameras would do it justice. But I don't know if it's that you've been hardcore working towards a completely new form of Josh. If it's that you have really been taking the time to be more, be different. If you are trying, and I said trying on purpose, if you are trying your hardest to level up, to be somebody else in a good way. I don't mean it in a bad way, but case in point, story time. Story time. Y'all all know I'm weirdo with numerology, right? I look at the numerology of everything. When I decided to full on step into the spiritual realm, okay? Yes to all of the above. Sweet. When I decided that I was fully going to step into doing all of this full time, all of the spiritual stuff full time, I am not going to lie. I have a love-hate relationship with my given name. My given name is because I was not born as Michael. And they weren't prepared for a girl. And it happened to be a Barry Manilow song in the hospital. So my birth number, my birth path is a 1. My name that when I was born is a 7. They clash. And the thought of me using my name that I've always kind of disliked to move forward in the spiritual world, I wanted to barf in my mouth a little bit. I'm like, let me go see Mandy. Let me go talk to Mandy. Like, it just felt weird, right? It felt weird. And I really took like almost a year. And I was like, okay, well, I had all these different things that I really liked. I'm like, let me combine them and see what it is I like and what I want to go. You know, I really, really tried, right? And okay, I'm a nerd, and I've always loved the movie Point Break. Because who doesn't love Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze surfing in wetsuits? Everybody loves that movie. You know you do. Everybody loves that movie. So I always loved the name Bodhi. Of course, he spells it Bodie in the name. But when I was like, you know what, I really like Bodhi. Like, I really like that name. And then I felt like I didn't deserve that name, right? Because if you guys don't know what a bodhisattva is, a bodhisattva in Buddhism is someone that gives up their own enlightenment to help other people reach their enlightenment. They're a guidepost. They're a sign. Go this way. Don't go that way. And I was like, you know, I'm not worthy of that. I'm not worthy of that. And then I had a friend. I started just lightly using the name. I loved it, right? So when I decided that I was going to start going by Bodhi and using the name Bodhi, and then it became the blue Bodhi because my hair's been blue for way too long. I was like, dude, I like that. That's me. I like it. And I still felt bad, right? I still felt bad about utilizing that name. And I did practice Buddhism. I still do practice Buddhism. I've taken my precepts, like all that stuff. I have my Dharma name, which is a whole other story. But one of my friend's kids was in college, and they were in a class on religions of the world and stuff like that. And they were talking about Buddhism, and they were talking about bodhisattvas and so on. Called her after that class and was telling her about it. And she was like, oh my God, it fits her perfect. And she started naming off all these things that I had done that, you know, her mom had been with me when I had done them for people. And hearing it from somebody else made it real. Does that make sense? So all of that to say, Josh, this right here, this is opportunity. And I love that you said the last 4 years have been a deep dive, school, certification, soul searching, a massive amount of healing, self-exploration, etc. Too much to type and validate. All of this right here, where this wrapped around, and that's why I keep like holding it on there. This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity. This is you becoming who you want to be. You guys don't have to just be this person or that person or somebody you don't want to be. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be the person you've always wanted to be. All you have to do is start. And I think that that's A, sounds like confirmation for you, but B, I feel like there's another unique, massive aspect of change that you just need to be brave enough to grab and hold on to. Does that make sense, Josh? I don't know if there's something that you've been really trying to make a decision if you should do this or not do this as far as walking down your new path. I'm going to say do it. I'm going to say do it. I don't know what that would be, but I'm 100% going to say do it. Does that make sense, Josh? Do you know what I'm saying? Coffee. You feel so stagnant on what to do, but trust that the answer will come on this trip. I 100% would agree with you that the answer will come on this trip. I 100% would say that the answer will come on this trip. I am going to say this. Be open to everything. Doesn't mean do everything, but be open to it, because I think there are going to be a lot of things that come across your lap, come across your plate, that maybe you wouldn't normally consider. So be open to everything, okay? Be open to everything. Abigayl. Good. Yeah, just be open. Be open. Be open. Abigayl J. Abigayl, your mama did not fail you, and that I love the way your name is spelled. I don't know if you're on TikTok or if you're on YouTube, but I love the way your name is spelled. It's awesome. I've never seen it spelled like that. And I'm making sure that that's not blowing too hard. Okay. Ooh. Oh, you're welcome. I will look at that. Free to tag me in any of the funny videos right now. Because I'm going to tell you guys this. Before I start reading for Abigayl. Story time. Just little story time. Let's say that. This move has been horrible. It took me over a month to move. And it seems like every day this week I have woke up to something that is insane. Like insane. Yesterday I had a problem with the gas company coming out. And because my phone was on work mode, because I was actually working and I couldn't stop what I was doing because I was on the phone and answer it, they canceled my appointment. Like, it was stupid. And it just was one thing after another. And then today I woke up to this noise in my room, like this screaming beep. And I was like, what in the hell is going on? And the electric had flashed. And I guess that there are two ancient alarm panels. One of them is in my room. And I could not get it to shut up. There's another one in the other part of the house, another part of the house by the garage door. And just a light tap with the fist made that one shut up. I felt like I was under psychological torture. If y'all have never heard one of those alarms when either the battery has died or their disc, I don't know. If you have never heard that, it goes right through your brain and you just suddenly become this different person, right? So like I said, just a light punch on the one, it shut up. The one in my room, however, no. After 45 minutes of me like begging with it, like touching all the buttons, I finally called the company that was the pad belonged to. I don't have service with them, right? I have a different system. So I call and I'm like, and the girl answers, the receptionist answers the phone. She's really nice. And I'm like, hi, you know, my name is so-and-so. I live at so-and-so. I just moved here. And the electric flashed, and now this panel is screaming at me, and it makes me want to go punch bunny rabbits. And she almost fell over laughing, and she was like, oh my God. And she was like, and she sat there, and then she goes, but I understand, I hate that sound too. She was like, hold on just a minute. And so she got me to somebody, and that alarm pad that's in that bedroom was installed in 1997. Almost 30 years, 1997. It is so old that none of the buttons were working. None of the codes were working. So then I'm upstairs in a closet on a ladder trying to get into this panel and unplug something that I couldn't find. And then it was a mess. That's how my morning started. So it's like been one thing after another. But I did get to tell some random woman that sound made me want to punch bunny rabbits. And she thought it was hilarious. If you guys have ever heard that sound, then you know exactly that feeling. Like, you can't get it to shut up. It's a high-pitched scream straight through your brain. At one point, I was even like, could I just live with it? Could I just live with it? And my immediate answer was no. You would go like blah, 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 crazy in a hot minute. But yeah, she laughed. She thought it was funny. All right. I don't know why I felt like telling you that story, but it was funny. And all I could do was laugh. All I could do was laugh because it just feels like in the last 2 weeks, like, okay, so I've lived in this house for right at a month. In the last 2 weeks, we have had the plumber out here twice, the air conditioning guy out here, the gas company out here. Who else have we had? An electrician out here. Most of them within the last 3 days. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot. It's just been little things, but I like today, I was telling the girls, like, all I can do is laugh. Like, all I can do is laugh because I got woke up out of, today I was like, oh my God, I can actually sleep past 7:30. Like, I can actually sleep in a little bit. I was like so excited, right? I'm going to sleep in a little bit. I'm going to take a hot shower. I'm going to feel like a person. It's going to be great. No. The bunny rabbit punch noise happened. So all I could do was laugh. All I could do was laugh. So sometimes, guys, when life makes you want to punch bunny rabbits, all you can do is laugh about it. That's all you can do is laugh about it. All right, Abigayl, you ready? I don't know why I got off on that tangent and told you guys that, but you're welcome. Let's start with this. And now I'm going to yawn. It cracks me up when I'm reading for you guys and I'm yawning the entire time I'm reading. It's crazy. So you did this complete loop right here. It's like you started to head out into the void and you went, nope. And you just like turned and came right back around. You are, in my opinion, someone who walks the void a lot. You walk the void in a very professional manner. And I said it that way on purpose. So the start of the ribbon is down here. It's in the void, or what I consider the void in this reading. And then it splits these two stones. It splits these two stones. We're going to talk about that in a minute. In my opinion, you are somebody that walks the void in a very professional way. You're comfortable there. It doesn't mean you like to be there, but you're comfortable there. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are some people that are just natural void walkers. They just are. They're natural void walkers. They're comfortable in the void. And that's you. So whenever life gets really shitty, life gets really hard, and you're like, you know what? Let me just go on over here and be in the void. You're okay with it. Whereas other people fight it like crazy because they don't want to be in the void. It doesn't mean stay there, Abigayl. Just gonna put that out there. It doesn't mean stay there. Okay? And now I'm gonna yawn again. When you came back out of this void, you kind of skirted in between these two things. One, scraping off all of the negativity, either that you picked up going into the void or coming out of the void. Thank you, Tatiana. I appreciate that. Thank you, Heather. You scraped off a bunch of negativity. You scraped off a whole bunch of things that not only have made it to where you feel more shielded from that shit, but also you gained a lot of intuition and creativity and kind of psychic protection. I would not be surprised to know, Abigayl, that you also started doing a lot of ancestor worship, whether this is finding out about your ancestors, diving down that rabbit hole, putting up photos of people, whatever it is. You've been really diving down that ancestral arc of where your physical DNA self comes from. The other thing is, by really gaining this aspect of psychic protection and manifestation and creativity, you also started really grounding the shit out of yourself and creating sacred spaces for you. Guys, every one of you needs a sacred space. Every one of you needs a sacred space. I don't care if it's just the little, a piece of your bathroom counter this big. Your bedroom is always going to be your sacred space. Even if you share it with somebody else, your bedroom is your sacred space. This is where you are the most vulnerable. You are asleep. You're relaxed. This is where you are the most vulnerable. You want to make sure that your bedroom and that sacred space that it is treated as such. One of the things that I was taught as a kid is that my grandparents didn't have photos of anyone in their bedroom, not even the two of them together. They did have their wedding certificate in there. They did have that framed and in there, but there were no photos. I was taught that if there are photos of you and your spouse in your bedroom, that was fine, but you do not put photos of kids, of family, of anything like that, because that then starts to bring those issues into that space. Nothing. So I was taught, and I grew up with that, and so that's what I do as well. I don't even have pictures of myself in my bedroom. I have paintings. I have paintings that I did and things like that, but I don't have photos of anyone in my room because that's my sacred space. I have a grid under my bed. I ward my pillows. I ward my blankets and my sheets. So all of those things, you know what I mean? So you guys need to make sure that you have a sacred space. And I wanted to tell you that, Abigayl, because since this is all about like a sacred space, and this is all about intuition and psychic growth, and then you come here with this growth of personal power, of growth, whether it's spiritual or your spiritual power, whatever it is, when you're going through a metamorphosis, you need to make sure that you have a sacred space to be in, to be okay in, to feel safe in. Does that make sense? And if you've had photos of other people in your bedroom and you take them out and they notice, you can just tell them, this is my bedroom and I need this space to be just mine. It's not that I don't love you. It's not that I don't want you around. It's not anything like that. It's that I need my space to be my space, just like you need your space to be your space. It doesn't take much to create your bed as a safe space for you. All you really need is a Sharpie. All you really need is a Sharpie. And if you're going to ward your pillows, get you a Sharpie that is the material. It does the material. Ward your pillows. You can write your name on your pillow. If you don't know how to do warding, if you don't know how to do rune work, if you don't know how to do any of that, I need to set up a live for that because it's been a long time since I've done that. But you can literally write your name on it because that makes it your space. This is where your head goes. But have the intention that this is no one else's space but mine. Does that make sense? Same goes with your mattress. I mean, I know your parents always told you, like, don't mark on your mattress. Mark on your mattress, bitches. Mark on your mattress, bitches. It's fun. It'll make your inner child happy. Anyway, make your space your space. Your bedroom your space. Abigayl, you're coming into this amazing personal power aspect. Like, this ribbon is just solid on there. And then it comes through here and starts to curl upwards right there. So after you're going through this amazing personal empowerment and this personal growth, very quickly, that's going to turn into abundance and protection and then amplification of everything. And then this is like a straight up, like if this trajectory went straight, it would be going like straight up. Fantastical time in your life. It's going to be a lot. Don't think it's not. It is 100% going to be a lot. But it's also going to be fantastic. Okay? All right. Shanna L is next. So this goes up, down, twist, twist. That's crazy. It twists, twists, comes back. Girl, you got somebody completely jacking you up with your personal power. Like, I'm really fascinated with how it comes up and twists right here and then continues to twist like that. I'm going to start with this. You know who you are. You know who you are. Seeing this started in the very middle of this brick, you know who you are. You've always known who you are. You've always known yourself, your own personal power, where you're going. Even if where you're going changed 90 times, you have always had a very firm grasp on who Shanna is. And I would be willing to bet, because this is a very strong ancestral aspect with this ribbon here, I would be willing to bet that you've had people that either didn't understand that, they called you intimidating, or they said that you should tone it down, or whatever it was. You just being you and knowing who you are made other people mad because they didn't know who they were. And they were jealous. People that don't know who they are and don't know how to figure out who they are and don't want to take the time to learn who they are dislike people that have a very strong sense of identity. Our identity, our sense of identity changes so much as we grow and as we just live. You know, when you're 5 and you're in kindergarten, or you're 5 and you're a kindergartner, you're in Miss Baker's class or Miss Smith's class, or you're in Girl Scouts, or you know what I mean? Like, you know who you are. And when you're 12 and when you're 18 and when you're 25, as you grow and you go through these different times, you know who you are. You may be searching for it. But some people, like you, Shanna, have this very deep, intense knowledge of who you are, who you've always been. Girl, you've got a lot of people. I know you say you're the exact opposite, but I don't think you are. I think that if you really just look, you're going to realize I'm right. People that have a very strong sense of who they are question themselves constantly. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's take off the glasses for this. I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? I know exactly who I am. I like who I am. I don't make any apologies for who I am. At the same time, I question myself constantly. Constantly. If there is some issue going on with a friend of a friend of a friend, I question myself, did I do that? Is that me? Should I do this? Should I do that? If I'm constantly doing shadow work in my head. People that have a very strong sense of who they are constantly in their head doing shadow work, because you never want to come across as something you're not. So you're always worried that you're fucking up. You're always worried you're fucking up. You get imposter syndrome because you see all of these other people around you that they don't know who the hell they are. And so they're constantly changing who they are. So you get imposter syndrome. Just because you have a very strong sense of who you are and where you come from doesn't mean that you don't question just sweeping your floor, vacuuming the carpet. How long has it been since you have done a return to sender, since you have cleansed your space. Because this is someone that's trying to twist you up in a situation. This is someone that is doing everything they can to ensure that you don't hold on to your personal power. Whether they are jealous of you knowing exactly where you come from and who you are, or whether they're jealous of you being able to change and shift your path however you want. Whatever this is someone that is keeping you off kilter, and they're keeping you feeling like you're not enough all the time. So this is either a toxic relationship, a toxic friendship, a toxic work environment, or it is somebody that is actively doing something against you. And the reason that I say the toxic stuff and then someone actively doing something against you, are there people out there that their entire evening is made up of trying to hex somebody else that they hate? Yes. Are there people out there that they're like, oh my God, that guy looked at me wrong, he's going in a jar? Yes. Are there people that their entire way of being is to jinx or hex or curse somebody? Yes. But not as many as you think. Not as many as you think. It takes a lot of energy to hex, curse, jinx someone. It takes a lot of ingredients. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of intent. This is what people don't understand when they're doing these quick hexes, quick curses, etc. Nothing like that is quick. And it takes a lot of energy from you to do that. However, we all have people that dislike us, or they think that we should be doing something else with our life or whatever. So they do this, and they talk to whoever will listen about, oh, did you know that Shanna didn't get to work on time the other day? This is like the 5th time in 3 years. Bitch, shut up. You have an ex that is living with you until his legal matters are settled. Interesting. Whoever this is doing everything to keep you twisted up. Because if they keep you twisted up, then you cannot get a firm footing on your personal power. If they can keep you twisted up, then you're never going to firmly be who you need to be, who you want to be, who you're supposed to be. If they can keep you twisted up like this, then you're not going to speak up against them when you tell them, hey, look, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be in this friendship or whatever. They 100% are keeping you twisted up. I'm also going to say that, so there's a crease in this ribbon, and right where this touches the pyrite and the aventurine, that's where that crease is. It's also putting like a stop, like a pause. So let's say it, and this is going to manifest in a weird stop way for abundance for you. So let's say that you find out that you're getting a bonus at work, okay? And everybody that's getting a bonus is getting their bonus on the 1st. Well, the 1st comes around and everybody gets their bonus but you. And you're like, wait, you said I was getting a bonus, so where's the bonus? And then they're like, oh, shoot, I'll read that in a second. They say, oh no, we had one number wrong in your bank account, so we'll get it to you tomorrow. Well, then tomorrow rolls around, it's still not there. And they're like, oh, well, we had to get it back and then give it. Do you see what I mean? Like it, and then, after the 3rd or 4th day, you get your bonus. Did you get the abundance? Yes. But were there things that paused it? Yes. So she said, I don't do my shadow work. My crystal room is not set up. Found out when he was gone for a week that I am an empath. Are you feeling all of his stuff with it? Because that would keep you twisted up too. And how long is this arrangement for? My advice is going to be this. If it's your house, if it's your space, and you're being kind enough to let him stay, A, that is an amazing thing of you. That's a good friend. B, there needs to be a clear-cut timeline on this. I know that sometimes legal matters take, you don't know. You know, it could be next week, it could be 2 years from now. But there needs to be a cut space on this. Like, if you can get on your feet within 6 months and, take this 6 months to save up some money and be able to get your own space, then that's exactly what you should do. But I am going to recommend that you take some time, especially if your crystal room isn't set up. Girl, go play crystals. Go play crystals tomorrow. Go play crystals tonight. Go play crystals this weekend. Get it all set up. Go play crystals. Go play crystals. But I would recommend a very clear cut and dry. This is going to have to be the last day you're here, because the problem is if he's there for too long and his stuff is sent there too long, then you'll have to evict him. And if something goes wrong, you don't want to have to do that. So I would make sure that you have a very clear cut in writing. This is when, you're going to be set up good to get the fuck out of my house. I think that that's fantastic of you to do that for somebody. I do. The other thing I'm going to say is this. As we kind of keep talking about it and so on. As an empath, you need to make sure that you are doing things that protect you. So stones that are black are going to be fantastic. Okay. He has his own house. Gotcha. One of the best stones you can have is black tourmaline, and have a piece beside your bed. It doesn't matter how big or small it is, but black tourmaline will soak up any negative energy or emotions that are going on within the space around you, or that you have soaked up from somebody else. Smoky quartz is also another good one. There's a reason that I wear a smoky quartz ring. Smoky quartz is also a good one. It's going to act like a dialysis machine. So having those kind of things beside your bed will help you. All of you empaths, let me not be stuck on the ribbon. This right here is prehnite. It's one of my favorite stones. It's this gorgeous green, and you can see all the black in there. That's actually black tourmaline, but it's Prehnite. This is like a healer's healing stone. It's this really gorgeous kind of sea green color, mint green. Sometimes you can find it almost yellow, but this will also help you as an empath heal yourself. I have a skull of it beside my bed. His name is Harvey. Harvey travels with me and everything. I love my Harvey. All right. Dawn is next. I have Dawn, Nelly, Amy, Aiden, Caitlin, Rhiannon, Rebel, Bobbie, and Lauren. Let me refresh. Make sure that that's everybody. And this is taking forever. Forever. Yeah, that's everybody. All right. So Dawn is next. You are welcome, sweetheart. Blue kyanite's also a good one to keep beside your bed as an empath. I'm just saying. All right, Dawn, you ready? We'll just shake it. It's got some static going on with it. All right, then, Dawn. So the start is right here. It comes up over the peridot. Epido. Why did I say peridot? Up over the epido. It comes around. It kind of touches the celestite and then goes all up around the carborundum and then down. Doesn't quite touch the brick, but it does come up. Oh, it doesn't quite touch the kyanite either, but it kind of does the twisty twist. All right. My question is going to be this, Dawn. I don't know which social media you're on or if you're watching this later. Because the vast majority of this is over here. Let me look here, Wendy. We'll refresh it again. Because I don't think I've read for Wendy yet. We'll figure it out here in just a minute. Because the vast majority of this is touching this carborundum right here, this is a lot of shielding, banishing, and we're going to talk about that first, and then we're going to talk about the psychic aspect of it, because this right here is important. You went through a major transformation within you, with paying attention to who you are, why you're here, etc. You went through a major transformation with your own personal power, finding your inner peace, etc. But this, to be honest, looks like either an ascended master, it looks like a deity, it looks like spirit guides, spirit council, etc. I don't know what this is right here. But this is, oh, there you go. I see you over there. This is a huge jolt. Yes, 100%. This is a huge jolt of intense spiritual power. The reason that I named those different things is that sometimes people assume that when something is around them, someone, whether it's a being, an entity, whatever, they immediately think that it's a god or goddess, when it actually could be an ascended master. It actually could be a new spirit court, a spirit team, a new spirit guide. There are so many things it could be. And one of the other things I want to say, this isn't so much for Dawn as it is for everybody else, because Dawn, I'm fixing to ask you some questions about this. Guys, you don't get to just choose a deity to work with. Can you choose to set up an altar for a deity and give an offering and a thanks and so on? Yes. Should you expect them to answer? No. No. You don't just choose, I'm going to work with you. That's not the way it goes. Trust me, if you have a deity, a god or a goddess that is poking at you, and that's what I call it, it's not so much like, hey. They might do that a couple times, poke, and the next thing you know, they're like, hey, and they shove you face first on the concrete until you're like, I got it. It is not a small thing, okay? It is not a small thing. And one of the things that I dislike the most about social media is that everybody thinks they're working with Hecate. And then when they start to tell me the different things and the different signs, I'm like, that's Apollo. That's hell. That's Ra. That's, I have to start being like, that's Cernunnos. That's, not everything is just this deity or that deity. The reason also that I mention an ascended master or so on, because whenever I was naming, talking about this stuff, you said yes, 100%. So now I kind of want to ask some questions. Because a lot of the ribbon a shielding energy from negativity, but this is also and bringing in a lot of things that either you've been manifesting, you didn't know you were manifesting, just a lot of intensity. There we go. That's the right word. A lot of intensity. Because when it comes to this particular stone, this is one that is all about boosting your spiritual gifts, your spiritual self. The celestite over here brushing against it like that. This is also connection to higher realms and divine guidance and connection to angels and so on, which is another reason why I mentioned ascended masters. One thing I would say, there's a lot of different websites out there. I can't remember. There's one right off the bat that's all they do is ascended masters, and you can find, and you don't have to pay for it or anything. They just have tons of articles. But there are lists upon lists of ascended masters out there. And on these lists, there also are things like, you know how with a god or a goddess, they have an animal associated with them, a color, a flower, like things like that. You're going to find that with ascended masters as well. I just keep hearing ascended master. I would really kind of start to fall down the rabbit hole and look and see who it is that could be possibly poking you, because, or around you. Ascended masters usually just kind of show up and just sit next to you. It's funny. I think that is why you're having a hard time connecting back ancestrally. I think that is why you're having a hard time doing the things you've always come in. They can kind of cut you off. I love that you just said, I'm a bit intense by nature. I will look at that. I've had some weird signs but couldn't figure it out. That's a new one for me. If you want to message the website, Dawn, I'll see if I can help you, or if I can find that website. It's driving me crazy that I can't remember it. It's one I actually use. I'll be happy to try to see if I can find that for you. Or if you want to shoot a message to this, I can help you too. Ascended masters are very interesting. You are so welcome. Ascended masters are very, very interesting. And they feel a lot like deities. They feel a lot like deities. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, I am more than happy to help you. I'm trying to figure out why I don't have Wendy on my list for tonight. Unless, hold on just a minute, Wendy, because I think I know what happened. Because I had to move some things around. So you are on my list for the alchemy coins. And I had to move that one. Let me look here. I had to move that one to the 8th. So if you want to still be on for the 8th, you are literally my first one. At 7:30 on the 8th. Yeah, me and all of my crazy moving glory scheduled like 4 live streams on the same night, because that's what happened then. And when I realized it, I was like, all right, okay, crazy. Okay, ma'am. Oh, okay. You are the first one on my list. It is October 8th at 7:30. So next Wednesday evening, I have a meeting to go to on the 7th. I was going to put it on the 7th, but at 7:30, and you're my first one. So you are 100% my first one. You're my first one. Sorry. The coffee is kicking in. So let's drink more coffee. Alrighty. Nelly is next. Oh, you're so welcome, Wendy. Thank you for being so understanding and so patient with me. Because I was like, I keep refreshing my list and there's no Wendy. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, wait, you were a fuck up earlier. You better check your fuck up. All right. Ready, Nelly? All right, then. So you have the first part down here. It starts on the epidote quartz. It comes up, hits the blue kyanite, comes around, barely touches the aventurine, comes all the way back around in a circle, over onto the brick, and then does this swirly thing across the carborundum. Interesting. You have a lot on your plate right now, Nelly. A crazy lot on your plate. So let's talk. Because what the way that this is and the way the ribbon is twisting and going and so forth. You know when you go to the all-you-can-eat buffet and you put way too much on your plate and then you realize that you need a strategy to be able to finish it all? You got to eat like the least dense things first. You know what I mean? Like you got to try to figure it out. That's exactly what's going on. Some of it is stuff you've manifested that are starting to come in. Some of it is stuff that needs to vacate so other manifestations can come in. Some of it's just life. And some of it, like, it's just a lot. So you have a lot of moving parts going on. And the problem with that is if you don't have a strategy to be able to deal with these moving parts, they're going to overwhelm you. So let's talk about your strategy, okay? So first, you have this right here. This is a lot of personal power. What you're carrying with you, whether it's good or bad. This is also transformation. You need to realize right now, in this moment, while you're listening, you're in a big, massive aspect of transformation. That is not a small thing. And I want you to think of this like a butterfly in a cocoon. You have this little caterpillar doing all that needs to do to get its little food so it can make the cocoon, right? And even when we as humans look at the cocoon, we see this little thing that's not moving, right? We see the shell, we see the outside of that cocoon. We don't see what's going on inside that cocoon. We just know that at one point it was this cute little caterpillar and then it's a butterfly. You don't see all the transformation that's happening within the cocoon. But to go from a caterpillar and sprout wings, to grow wings and be able to fly, that is a massive change. And that's where you are right now. I would not be surprised, Nelly, if you've been having a lot of butterfly symbols popping up, butterflies themselves popping up. That's the first step. Realize that you are in a massive transformative phase. The next thing you need to realize is because you're in this transformative phase, what you say and what you put out into the universe is what's going to transform. So let's say that you're like, holy shit, I am totally, has been a lot of negative, has there been a lot of positive? When negative things happen, have you been letting this, or have there been a bunch of positive things that have happened and you've been thanking the universe for it? Or have these positive things happen and you've been kind of like getting mad about it, right? The second part, after realizing that you're in a transformation, is to be very careful what's coming out of your face, what's coming out of your mouth, because that right there is amplification of the intent you're putting out. The next step is this. When you realize that what you think you become and what you speak into the universe, you become. What you speak out is going to happen. We can talk about simulation theory some other time, but I'm just saying, you need to look at the universe that what you're putting out is what's going to happen. So once you realize that, the third step is this. You need to be cleansing yourself on a daily or double daily basis, okay? shower, bath with a lot of spiritual aspects to it. Put a little bit of a sprinkle of salt in your body wash, or get body wash that has, sea salt in it. Take a nice hot bath with Epsom salt. Use some rose, some oil, or some petals, or blue lotus, or damian. Use some different herbs and stuff in a spiritual bath, in a spiritual shower. And if you're like, well, I don't have a bath, you can just take a little tiny bowl and put your herbs and stuff in it and just let them smell in the shower. Wash your aura. Feels weird. It doesn't matter how many times you do it. You feel stupid because you're washing 5 inches from your body in the air. But I guarantee you, you will feel better and you will feel lighter and it will feel amazing. You will be relaxed and clear. And then also be clearing yourself by wearing the right stones or having the right stones on you, by burning incense or using a clearing spray in your space. Y'all, if you can't burn incense, you literally can make a clearing spray with just salt and water. Salt is a connection to the divine, and it's also a purification. Some salt and some water, shake the shit out of it. It doesn't have a smell. It's not going to stain anything, and it's not going to hurt anything. But it's sure as hell going to help cleanse you and cleanse your space. So you need to be cleansing yourself on a daily basis. Align yourself back up as much as possible throughout the week. Whether it's catching Reiki sessions from practitioners or listening to frequencies at night, you need to be doing that to keep yourself aligned. The next thing is, when abundance comes in, when something good happens, you need to give thanks back to the universe. Whether it's just throwing a couple coins in your money bowl, lighting incense and saying thank you, putting something on your altar, taking a little piece of your cupcake outside, whatever it is, you need to be saying thanks back to the universe when something good happens. The next thing is to remember that you are in a transformation. We get going along this spiritual path and we forget, oh shit, bitch, you're in a transformation. Like, you're in a transformation. We forget because we get so overwhelmed with everything that our brain is like, let's deal with the 900 things over here. You're still in a transformation. You're still in a transformation. Next, you need to be paying attention to ancestral ties, to every single thing that has to do with grounding yourself and your personal history. Your history made you who you are, the good and the bad. The history of you, Nelly, has brought you to exactly where you are right now in this amazing transformative form. And then this curly part over here, woo, 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 I didn't mean to do that. This curly part over here, you need to shield yourself. Just like that little butterfly has the cocoon to protect it while it's inside turning into the butterfly, you need to have a shield to protect yourself as well, okay? These could be anything from, energetically learning how to put that shield around you. It can be stones, it can be jewelry, it can be symbols, it can be tattoos, it can be all kinds of different things, but you need to make sure that you are shielding yourself on a daily basis. So this is kind of, instead of being more of a read, Nelly, this is kind of a blue move effortlessly through this transformation. Okay? Woo! Amy H is next. I know Amy was here a while ago. All right then. So it starts right here. It's completely kind of in this indention touching the celestite. And then all over the epido. It doesn't, oh it does. It touches the aventurine and pyrite. Doesn't touch the kyanite at all. Does touch the brick. Comes back around and then back up onto the celestite and over. Almost like it's about to start curling back around. The first thing I'm going to say is this, Amy. Be careful that you're not allowing yourself to get in a cycle, okay? This is a very interesting lopsided cycle, but be careful that you're not allowing yourself to get in a cycle, because just because the ribbon is curving back around, like if you were to follow this curve around, it literally would end up right back over here. So be careful that you're not allowing yourself to get into a cycle. The next thing I'm going to say is this. You being able to amplify everything right now tells me that you're moving into more of a like generator phase with your energy. You've been working on yourself long enough. You've been paying attention to healing and growth and shadow work and all the things. You've been doing so many things that now you're at a phase where you as Amy, your physical self is just amplifying everything around you. This is not so much a mirror as it is like an energy generator, okay? So this comes with being a very powerful empath and someone that has worked a lot on their shadow work. All of you empaths, when you work a tremendous amount on yourself, on shadow work especially, and you're realizing that you're doing shadow work in a moment-to-moment basis. You're realizing that you're pausing before you just shoot the words out of your face. You realize that you're really taking the time to be more. You become a generator. So instead of just, I'm about to sneeze, instead of just taking in other people's energy, instead of just feeling all of that stuff, you're going to amplify those things, okay? So when things around are really, really good, or angry, that's amplified. The thing I want you to remember about being a generator is that you can control what you're generating. You can control, thank you guys, you can control everything that has to do with I knew that was coming, that yawn. Control everything that has to do with what energy you are putting out. Now, this takes a little practice, okay? And I know that you said, yes, you're noticing the amplification. It takes a little bit of practice. I would be listening to guided meditations, frequencies, etc., that can help you with transmutation. There are a ton, y'all. YouTube is phenomenal for all of the free just playlists of frequencies and theta waves and beta waves and binaural beats and all of the things that can help you transmute, start to learn to transmute, guided meditations, classes, etc. By learning how to transmute and how to take the energy, let's say you're in a good mood, Amy. You're in a great mood. You've been having a good day, and somebody like your kid comes home and he's just had a shit day, right? And the minute he gets in the driveway, you know he's had a shit day. You can feel it from the driveway, and you're like, oh shit. You already start to feel it. So instead of allowing that to generate into a humongous thing that then is going to fill the whole house with that, by learning how to transmute that, you can kind of catch that ball of anxiety, angry energy, and change it into something better. Making a conscious effort to try to learn not to react right away. That is fantastic. That is one of the main foundations of, my nose is itching now that I sneeze. That's one of the main foundations of transmutation, because when something happens and you know that you want to transmute it, you can't instantly react. You can't instantly say something shitty or, throw a chair across the room, or, you might want to, Superman punch the floor, but that's not going to do anything but amplify the negativity. So you becoming this generator right here, A, is fantastic, and B, is really cool, and C, while you're learning yourself, make sure that you're taking that pause. But I'm going to say again, look on YouTube at some of the phenomenal, like, free, like, all night long frequencies, or even ones you can just play during the day that have music over them. Anything at all that's going to help you transmute energy. Also be listening to some of the free shadow work things that are on there. You're going to find a lot of Carl Jung. You're going to find a lot of Alan Watts, like free lectures that are on YouTube that you can listen to. One of the other things, and this is something that all of you guys should be utilizing. I do this all the time. I will get in a phase where I'm in a funk and I feel like I can't go any further. Like I'm just hitting wall after wall after wall after wall. TED Talks. I kid you not, TED Talks. There's a lot of metaphysical TED Talks, spiritual TED Talks, and once you start looking at certain things on the different TED Talks and so on, a lot of other ones are going to pop up and you're going to be like, "Oh, okay. Oh, okay." I guarantee you there's one to you. But those are things you can play in the background during the day. Being some of those different things be put in your noggin so you know exactly what it is that... Let me rephrase that. So you can learn what it is that you need to learn to channel this differently. The fact that this ribbon comes back over the celestite and there's a big piece of it right here tells me that you have the natural ability to be the calm one in any situation. You naturally are the grounded one. You naturally are the calm one. And you naturally are the one that everybody kind of leans on a little bit, which usually is 100% the empath's job. It's a shitty job, but it's 100% kind of the job that you have. Pay really close attention to how to transmute all of that. I hope that made sense. My advice is going to be this, because I know that there's not one specific frequency to listen to learn to transmute. My favorites, when I feel like I'm getting bogged down by something and I need to transmute it, are 1111. So like 1111. There's also there's a couple of really good all night long meditations, frequencies, whatever you want to call them. Well, not whatever you want to call them. They're frequencies, but they're meditations and songs and blah, blah, blah. My brain just went sideways. But it's like 33, 33, 333, 33, and 3. Does that make sense? Oh, I love you right back. I'm glad it makes sense. But listen to like 1111 frequency or 3333. I would start with 1111 because the 3333 can start to feel like somebody's just rubbing a hole through your brain. But start with the 1111 and see if that helps. That will help you raise your personal frequency, your vibe basically, but raise your personal frequency and help you to transmute that stuff. Okay? You see 1111 all the time, and then here I am, listen to 1111. I love it. All right, Aiden is next. I'm just gonna flip it all around. This is fascinating right here. All right, so the start of it is way over here on nothing, comes up over the carborundum, kind of curls down, it like twists out into the nothing, and then it comes up over the brick and curls around on the kyanite. So Aiden, dude. You can't save... There you are. You can't save everybody. My ear itches. You can't save everybody. You're going to try, but you can't save everybody. I started off with that because this is fascinating. This tells me a lot. But this, the fact that it curls back up, it's almost like you don't know who you are. You find out who you are. You become really strong in who you are. You get an amazing amount of psychic gifts and abilities. And then suddenly it's like you don't know who you are again. And then suddenly you do know who you are. And you're remembering yourself, your history, your ancestors, like where you came from, all of this stuff. And then all of the negativity gets cleared off and you get realigned. So what's interesting about it, and the reason I said that you can't save everybody, is because the fact that this seems like this is just, everybody goes through those phases of, let me find myself. But this, it's like somebody pulled you off your path right here. Also, you need to get some sleep. I'm trying to like read this and channel and read stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm tired. What the hell? Aiden, make sure you get some sleep. Make sure you get some sleep. And don't just be like, yes, and then don't do it. I'm serious. Like, you really, really legit need some sleep. That's where the brain fog is coming from. But you starting off kind of out here in the floating nothing was a good thing. You will after October 18th. You have too much on your plate to sleep. This is why we're friends. Oh my gosh. I probably said that a lot over the last months and months. This is why we're friends. To you would be like, dude, you need to sleep. But I'm just saying. All right. That's funny, by the way. You kind of in this floating aspect out here. You return to that way of being a lot. This like, I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to float. You return to that state of mind a lot. People that can just kind of naturally float. Notice I didn't say go with the flow. Notice I didn't say ride the waves or whatever. Just float. Sometimes when you float, you ain't going nowhere. You're just floating, right? You're just sitting there. People that can float usually are very, very inner. They have a lot of inner strength and they have a lot of inner peace. And it may not seem like it. You may be like, bitch, I ain't got no inner peace. It may not seem like it. But when you finally lay down at night, when you finally have the chance to sit still, when you're in the shower and you're thinking about all of the other things that you got to do tomorrow or later or today or whatever, when your brain is going through the plethora of intense shit that you have to deal with, I want you to just kind of start to take a mental note, Aiden. Is it just one thing or is it 90? Is it a ton of little things or is it a few big things or both? I would almost guarantee you that it's like 90 things. It's both. It's a ton of big things. It's a ton of little things. It's all. You learned to float a long time ago. And, ooh, that was loud. And you're able to take the time to, I don't want to say worry, process. There we go. You're able to take the time to process the 90 things that you've got to do. Doesn't mean you get them all done, but you're able to mentally go, okay, I've got to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. My recommendations as we talk about these are going to be build this shield back up for you, because where this ribbon is right here, that's where it starts to twist. It comes off of that and starts to twist. Anytime you let your shields down, anytime you allow even a crack of negativity to come in, anytime you have an aspect where someone finds the chink in your armor, you get completely jacked up over it. Having a better shield, a stronger shield, is going to help that, and it's going to help make sure that people don't find that hole in your armor, if that makes sense. What do you do? And you don't have to answer, okay? What is it you do that allows you to reconnect back to you, to your history, to who Aiden has always been? What do you do to connect back to ancestors and traditions and habits? What do you do to make sure that you are doing everything you need to do so that you are back to normal after this craziness right here? This is just weird, this roll out like that, and then for it to roll back in. Person in your life that they leave and they come back, and they leave and they come back. Whether this is a friend, whether it's a family member, whatever, you have somebody that just does this back and forth. And every time they leave, you're like, thank God. Like, you get upset. Now I can get some work done. Like, every time they storm out, you're okay with it. When they come back in, you also are kind of okay with it, but you already know what's going to happen. You need to find a way to cleanse that karmic issue with this person, this karmic bond, because the fact that this comes around and then starts to twist again, they're just going to continue to twist. They're just going to continue to make sure that you are always on the back foot. You know what I mean? You're never on a steady ground. You're never ever 100% anything. This could also be just the kind of person that you are. This could also be the kind of person that you attract. Does that make sense? I did have a friendship end almost a year ago. I'm sorry. I've been thinking about them a lot recently, but I haven't reached out because I know it'll be a bad idea. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. If you know that you keep attracting the same type of friends over and over, know that it's because you've learned to kind of float. You've learned to kind of be able to just be, and most people can't do that. So that's a fantastic thing. It's hard because you can't explain to other people how you do it. You can't explain to other people how to just be with 900 things in your head. So don't even try. But because it's hard. But you're always going to attract people that want to take that kind of talent. Notice I said take. And you are the kind of person that you kind of give them a little bit of it. And this is probably why that relationship, friendship, whatever, turned so bad, so toxic. So I would definitely agree that it's not a good idea to reach back out to them. But you need to find a shield for you so you're not attracting other people that are going to take advantage again. Okay? Does that make sense? I want to say one more thing. It does. Okay, good. I want to say one more thing about this part of the ribbon right here that goes over this brick. Look at where you come from. Look at your memories. Sit and go through photos on your phone or social media or whatever. Look at all of the history of you. And that includes parents, grandparents, great grandparents, whatever. Start looking at all of that. I don't mean you have to fall down the genealogy rabbit hole and become some amazing genealogist. I don't mean that. But what I do mean is start kind of paying attention and really looking back at your own history. That's going to help you a lot, because you're going to see a lot of times in your life when you were able to just float and not give a shit about anything or anybody else. And you're going to see times where you don't know why, but you just have somebody there that wants to suck that energy dry all the time. Because I would bet for you, it's always one or the other. It's never kind of in between. I hope that made sense. And that didn't just like confuse you even more with it. If I confuse you, I'm sorry. Maybe when you re-listen, it'll make more sense. What's up, old man? It does. You struggle with it. All or nothing in relationships. Okay. You looking back at you is going to help you a lot. I promise. I promise. All right. So we have Caitlin, Rhiannon, Rebel, Bobbie, and Lauren is rounding out my list for this evening. All right, Caitlin, you ready? Ooh, okay then. Looking like a pretzel. Now I want pretzels. You're welcome, Aiden. Pretzels, like those good, huge ones from the fair, like the handmade, big, twisty ones. Did y'all follow Garrett No One? You should. Talked about corn dogs, was spot on. It cracked me up. It was so funny. But I love when he saw the kid eating the turkey leg, and he was like talking about how that's from a mythical creature. They don't have him in Ireland and they don't want him, and it was so funny. I love him. I love him. He's hilarious. All right, here we go, Caitlin. First of all, you are the calming presence. You are the calm in the storm for that presence that when you walk into a room, everybody chills out. When you walk into a room, everybody takes a deep breath and they kind of, everything woo-saws a little bit. You seem to pick some of that up, but you also are able to use that to your advantage. The fact that this starts on the celestite and then moves over onto the epidote and the quartz is fantastic, because you being the calming presence for everybody else also is part of your personal power. We all know a family that has like that one grandma or that one, oh my God, that's funny. I'm an ICU nurse and have been told that I'm the calm one a lot. We all have that one grandma or that one aunt, or maybe it's our mom or whatever, that person is usually very calm, very steady. If they look at you with the right look, like that will crush you. They don't have to say anything. That will crush you, that look, right? That's Caitlin. Just so you guys know, that's Caitlin. This is also where your personal power comes from. It gets twisted sometimes because that's kind of a hard, in my opinion, that's one of the hardest positions to be in a family, is like that matriarch aspect, that calm leader aspect, because you're not as well. And it gets heavy and it gets hard and it gets trying and you get pissy about it. And sometimes you're like, I don't even. The one thing that I want to say is the fact that this twists right here, comes up, it twists, and then it twists again. Your personal power, who you are in here, has a lot of different facets to it. Much like if you're looking at this crystal or this one or even this one, There's a whole bunch of different, like if I pick this one up just barely, doesn't matter if you're on TikTok, all of the different facets of it. That's how you are. You aren't just one slate. You aren't just one round, smooth surface. You are like this. There's so many different facets of who you are as your personal power. This is why when you do anything, Caitlin, you usually are instantly good at things, right? You can pick up something and instantly good at it. If it's something that you actually care about. And sometimes shit you don't even care about. You're just instantly good at it. Doesn't mean you're an expert at it immediately. But if you, let's just say you go axe throwing for the first time and you're like a couple of tries and then you're pretty much getting it most of the time, you know, really good points. Or you decide to go spear fishing. You see it a couple of times and then you're doing it almost every time. You're that person. There's so many facets of your personal power that anything you decide to take on, anything you decide to do, anything you want to learn, it's going to happen like this. It's going to happen like that. That's an amazing thing. But make sure that you are doing something that helps you like get rid of any negative bullshit that you hold on to after that. And being an ICU nurse, that's a lot of stress. That's a lot of emotion. I mean, I've known more than a few people that have been in ICU. I've been in ICU. It's a lot of stress. Like I can't imagine what the nurses that are in ICU have to deal with on a moment to moment basis on their shift, because it's not like you just have a whole hallway full of, you know, people that are just waiting to get a test in the morning. You have a whole ICU, intensive care unit. It's not just, oh, you know, I just had a hysterectomy this morning and I feel great and I want to go home, but they won't let me leave yet because I got to stay in for 24 hours. Or, you know, it's not anything like that. So that's a lot of trauma, distress. It's a lot of negativity. It's a lot of hope. I included hope in there because sometimes hope can be really dangerous. And you all know what that means to you when I say that. So you need to make sure that because of all these different facets of your personal power and how amazing you are with it, with this calm, you know, aspect, you need to make sure that you are continually cleansing yourself. The fact that this didn't go over the carborundum at all, in fact, it goes over it, over the brick, excuse me, and then down under it. It's funny, the ribbon down in between these two goes in between these two. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with this right here, to know that you have one of those matriarchs in your family that you look up to, whether it's grandma, mom, aunt, whatever, because of the way that this loops around. Just like it loops here, it loops the same way there. Know that you'll be following in those footsteps. You will be following in that kind of matriarchal, I am the calm one, you know, I'm the one that organizes shit, I'm the one that can get it done right. And not in a mean way, but like, I am going to bet that you will become that person if you're not already becoming that person already. But still, the fact that that ribbon went down here in between these two, you've got to make sure that you're shielding yourself. Because if you're not shielding yourself, this is just going to continue. It's just going to continue to do this until you're worn out. Does that make sense, Caitlin? You already have a really hard job, girl. And we all thank you for that. It makes so much sense. Okay, good. I couldn't be a nurse. I couldn't. I just couldn't be a nurse. My first day on the job, I would tell somebody to stop being a little bitch. I'm so sorry. I couldn't be a nurse because it's not that I don't have empathy. It's not that I wouldn't be a good nurse. I have a very high pain tolerance. So when I'm in pain, my level of a 6 on the pain scale is somebody else's 9. The beauty of being a fucking redhead. So when I say I would tell somebody to suck it up, it's because of that. Sometimes people need a little tough-love. I mean, yeah, but being a nurse, those of you guys that are nurses, you'll understand. Especially if you are a redhead, or those of you guys that are redheads, you'll understand too. I've had bacterial meningitis. That's a 10. That's a 10. That is 10 pain level. Nothing is a 10 to me. You know what I mean? Nothing aside from that has ever been a 10 to me. And I've gone through some pretty horrendous pain. I also have migraines for 30 years. But being a redhead, and all of you redheads know exactly what I'm talking about. They did a study too. If y'all are like, oh, you're just saying that. No, they've done studies. Redheads have a higher pain tolerance and they take more anesthesia, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So I would be that person that I would feel like maybe they're not in as much pain as they think they are. You thought it was only anesthesia that worked different on redheads. No, redheads have a higher pain tolerance. So see, if we had a whole army of redheads, that would be pretty fucking scary. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, Rhiannon, you ready? Tough love meant to encourage them to do more for themselves. I don't mess with pain. I medicate. I mean, and stuff for the damn migraines and stuff like that, but I'm not a nice person on pain medicine. I'm just not. Although Scarly can testify to the fact that I think I'm pretty funny when I'm under like conscious sedation. I had a tooth pulled. Scarly drove me back and forth because she loves me. And apparently I wore my sunglasses through the entire thing. Apparently I wore my sunglasses through the entire procedure. So yeah, Scarly can testify that I think I'm pretty funny. All right, Rihanna, save me. Okay. That's interesting that, like, look, this is the end of it, the start of it. Dude, why? Okay, I'm going to ask this, okay? Why is it that, you know, it's funny, I was going to ask the question, and then as soon as I started to ask the question, it's like I got the answer. So let me say this. Do you know why you can't center yourself? Do you know why you feel like you can't get all your chakras aligned? Do you know why you always feel a little bit off kilter? There's a major blockage right there. There's a major blockage right there. It comes a lot from some ancestral shit. You have a neuro issue. Well, I think it's a little more than that. Neuro-spicy people align themselves differently. I said that it's the best way I can explain it. People that are neurospicy, we don't ground ourselves the way that normal people ground ourselves. We can't get ourselves aligned the way that normal people get themselves aligned. Why do you guys think that you like my Reiki sessions so much? Asking because I already know the answer. I am super neurospicy. I hide it well. I hope. I hide it well. and I'm able to function really well with it for the most part. But when I was learning Reiki, I got bored. And I started learning all of the different types of Reiki. And I started learning all of the different types of frequencies and all of the different types of quantum aspects and all of the different types of mudras and pranic healing and chi. I started learning all of those things because my brain got bored with just one of them. And I realized that when I was doing Reiki on myself and I would just be sitting there doing this, I would get bored. So I walk around and do weird shit with my hands all the time. I caught myself doing this earlier, and then I was like, sweet, I'm stimming GANG signs. Like, yeah. But I realized that when I was doing Reiki on myself, I needed noise, I needed rhythm, I needed specific frequencies, I needed sounds, and I needed movement. Because just the idea of moving your hands like this and shaking them off is calming to me. And then when I started offering that as a service to other people that were neurospicy as well, I had a friend who has autism and she is super, super OCD, right? Early, graduated college early, became one of the youngest engineers here in Tulsa, like super intelligent girl, right? So I was like, hey, let's experiment. She was like, hey, I'm down. So we tried things until I came up with the form of Reiki that you guys love. It's because it soothes the spice much. You ain't spicy. You ain't spicy. It's okay. It tingles so many different parts of your brain that it allows you to breathe and to let go. But this blockage, I think, is something different, Rhiannon. And that's why I brought it up. Because, like, that is just out here in the air. There's a lot of stuff. Well, not really a lot. Because it comes up like this. I think there's a lot of things family-wise, ancestrally, that you've gotten over. Because, or you're starting to. Let me not say that you've gotten over. Because this is still very firmly laying on there. Because it has eroded or did erode your personal power in the past, meaning you couldn't connect to yourself, you couldn't calm down, you couldn't relax, like it was just too much. And I would bet because of this right here, where this is laying on that, there's still a couple of people that you have to deal with all the time that it's too much. It's too much. And so when you're around them, all of this stuff pops up. And then all of that, I feel like I'm 5 again. And I feel like, everything that I'm doing isn't good enough and so on and so forth. But as soon as you get away from that person, suddenly you feel happy again, abundant again, like everything is going your way again and you're lucky. Like it's so weird. Well, I say weird for lack of a better term. But then this happiness gets amplified. You have like severe ups and downs with this, don't you? Because it's like this luck gets amplified and then you go through this calm phase and then you go through this personal power phase and then it's a blockage all over again. Okay. Have you taken the time to kind of go back through just mentally and you need to make sure you're in the right brain space to do this because it is going to be hard. So a day when you're really calm, when you feel powerful, this is when you need to do this. Go back and look at all of the times here recently where you have felt like you can't connect, where you have felt disconnected, or like you're kind of floating off a little bit. And then I want you to look at who you talked to, who you were around, what happened that day, etc., to make you feel off kilter. Just make yourself a few notes, right? Start to notice the patterns. Who are you around? What were you doing? What situation were you in? Whatever it is. because that is what's keeping you from a lot of your personal power. And I think that right there, I don't want to say that it's some big trigger, but it's some big trigger. The other thing that I want you to look at is those times where you have felt like you are super in tune and super abundant and super lucky and like everything's going your way. What happened with that? What words what was going on around you? Who were you around, etc. Start just really kind of looking at those things. And I know that if somebody were to tell me to do this and then to say, just make yourself some little notes, I'd have a spreadsheet within like 10 minutes. But maybe don't have a spreadsheet. However, I think that you're going to start to see these patterns. And when you start to see these patterns, it's going to be so much easier for you to get a hold of those patterns. And that is what is going to stop with this blockage right here. And I noticed that you said that you have autism and ADHD and you've been having seizures lately. I would be willing to bet that this helps with seizures as well, because the fun thing, I don't know if they've diagnosed you with epilepsy, and the fun thing about seizures is that if you really take the time to look at what it is that happened, like the day before you had a seizure, you can pretty much pinpoint what's going on, or what your triggers are at least. Some doesn't mean you can avoid all of the triggers, but mine are mainly induced by stress about 3 days after. It's the weirdest thing. It's like you don't have a panic attack in the moment. You have a panic attack after everything is calmed down. And I would be willing to bet that it would help you tremendously in a lot of different ways. I know that's probably not the advice you were expecting. Neurospicy. I really think that neurospicy people are evolution. I'm not going to lie. I really think that they are. Because if you look throughout history, do you know the oracles of Delphi and the oracles throughout the Mediterranean and Italy and Greece and stuff? Those are some of my favorite examples. You guys realize that to become an oracle, you developed or were born with epilepsy, right? To become an oracle, you had seizures. And your parents considered it an honor to take you to the temple. And then they would keep you having seizures. Instead of treating you, they would keep you having seizures. Because they believed that people that had epilepsy, that had seizures, were seeing into the future or seeing into other realms. And therefore, they became the oracles. They were very important, but they did not live a normal life, and they usually passed away pretty young, because if you know anything about epilepsy, then you know that you run the risk of having seizure after seizure after seizure after seizure until you don't wake up. And so that's how a lot of them would pass away. A lot of people throughout time that have had autism, in a lot of cultures, those people, and they were trained to be the spiritual people. Really, Lauren said Grey's Anatomy has an episode of a guy sort of like this, super interesting. I love that. I've never watched it, but I would watch that episode. The way that tribal cultures handled neurospiciness was with reverence. With reverence. And there was a study, I had it up the other day and I wish I had kept it up now, where they found that when the Holy Roman Empire went up through Europe and the UK and Ireland and so on, when they went up through that area and they systematically exterminated the people that had gifts, the people that were neurospicy. I'm going to read that out loud here in just a minute, Rian. The people that had gifts and the people that were neurospicy, they exterminated them like bugs. And they altered the course of human evolution. I am a firm believer that neurospicy people are evolution. Where would the world be if, you know, during it was like 1400s to off the planet, where would evolution be? Where would evolution be? Rhiannon said, I did a moon ritual once, your gift, and when they happen, I'm opening to something. There's been a lot of speculation. That was a car or something. I thought it was a siren. I was like, son of a bitch. There's been a lot of season 1, episode 8. Thank you, Lauren. There's been a lot of speculation throughout different cultures and so on that I'm serious. If you guys want to fall down a rabbit hole on Google, look up, just how different cultures treat epilepsy. How different ancient cultures treated epilepsy. It will open your eyes to a lot of the ways that spicy people were treated. There were some things that were treated with reverence, and epilepsy was one of them. So some cultures believe that when you are having a seizure as an epileptic, you are getting a download from the future. You're seeing into another realm or whatever. Wars were fought over epileptics. I'm just saying. It's really, really a crazy, fascinating subject. If you want something new. All right. Did that make sense, though, Rhiannon? Rebel is next. Ready, Rebel? Okay. That's weird. It got caught on my finger and then it landed how it landed. Interesting. So the start of it is like firm right there on the epido. And it comes up and around the aventurine and down and around and down. I'm going to say this because, gotcha, Rhiannon said it does make sense except the ancestry part. I don't have family anymore but my kids. So I would look at triggers because of that piece right there. I would look at triggers that happened when you were a kid and how they are affecting you now. Because sometimes you could have a trigger that, let's say you have one specific family member that was really mean to you or would say all of these things to you, and then you would get, upset and that would happen. Brain, it's triggering that. Do you see what I mean? All right, Rebel. First of all, when I first was like, oh, okay, it's there and it comes up, it comes down, it goes down like this. I'm going to say this. Be careful. In my brain, what you're fixing to do, wherever you're fixing to go, like, I feel like it's something you're fixing to do. You're welcome, Rhiannon. You're so welcome. Whatever it is you're fixing to do, Rebel, be very, very cautious, okay? Because even though this is like the beginning of the ribbon right here, it is upside down. Instead of being face up on this epido, this like personal power and amplifying the good and so on, and transformation, it's upside down. Like, literally, I feel like I need to tell you whatever it is that you're about to embark on or decision you're about to make, just step back for a little bit. Just step back for a little bit. Don't jump just yet, right? Like, Like, don't say yes. Don't make a decision. Just step back for a little bit. Because I don't think that you're being told the entire story about whatever this is. I don't think that you're being told everything that needs to happen or all of the consequences of whatever this thing is. And it could seem like the greatest thing ever. It could seem like something that's super fantastic, that's really awesome, etc. But you're not being told the entire thing. And so the consequences of it behind the scenes are gonna end up here. And then it goes, you know, right side up over the aventurine, and it kind of skips along a couple things. The risk might seem like it's worth it. You know, the rewards definitely would seem like they're worth it. But the fact that this ribbon goes off and down, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know if you're here on either one of these or if you're going to be watching this later, but whatever this is, you are not being told the entire behind the scenes content. You're not being told all of the consequences of it, and by not being told those two things, it's really hard for you to gauge if it's worth it for you to do this. It's really hard. You're only being told the things that would make you want manipulation, but it's almost like, I mean, I guess it would be manipulation, because if somebody isn't telling you all of the risks, so you only hear the good and that's all you have to make the decision on, then yeah, that's manipulation. I feel like I need to say again that I don't think this is a good idea. I feel like I need to say again that I would step back and say no. Whoever this is that's trying to get you to do this, go with them somewhere, do something, whatever it is going to benefit them way more than it will ever benefit you, even though they're not making it sound like that. Also, they know that if they do this thing, that they're going to assume all of these risks. But if you do it, then you're going to assume all of the risks. And even if they have to cut their losses and run, girl, don't do it. I don't know what the fuck this is, but like, I'm getting more and more uncomfortable about it. Don't do it. Please don't do it, because I think this person is almost straight up. You don't want to do it, that you want to think about it, that you want to you want to pause. They're going to get mad. They're going to get mad. I'm just letting you know. They're going to get mad. So get ready for that. They're going to tell you it's your decision, but they need you to say yes. So, no. No is the answer. I mean, you're an adult. I can't tell you what to do, but the consequences are not worth what they're telling you the prize is in the end. Okay? I don't see Rebel on either one of these, so I hope that makes sense, Rebel, whether it's something right now immediately or something that's going to come up this weekend. I'm just saying, I don't like it at all. For those of you guys that are watching on YouTube live right now, you can rewind a little bit. Since this is on YouTube, it is recorded for you to watch at any time. And you can just go back. You can watch it right now. You can just go back a little bit. Let's see. William, you were my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. You were my 7th read. You were after Amy and before Josh. Rebel, be careful, okay? Be careful. I don't like it. All right, Bobbie. Have a Bobbie and then Lauren, and then I'm going to tell everybody to go to bed, but you're not gonna. You're going to end up sitting and scrolling. All right. Ready, Bobbie? We're going to shake that. Okay. Along the celestite, up in the air, barely touches the carborundum, and then comes down and almost goes under the celestite. There's something that has gotten really crazily amplified lately with you. I don't know if it's in a good way or a bad way, so we're gonna kind of talk about it for a minute. There is something that's gotten really crazily amplified with you. It started off as nothing, and then suddenly was like kabam! It was just something, and then it was amplified just like this. It's crazy. The fact that the majority of this ribbon goes over the celestite, this is all clarity, peace, spiritual awakening, spirit guides, higher realms, etc. So I find that interesting that you have this thing that just suddenly appeared and then suddenly got huge. And now you have this, I'm just going to say this. I don't feel like it's a very good thing. Because I feel like it got amplified and then you got strong all of a sudden. Like the thing just appeared, happened, and then you got overwhelmed because of the amplification, and then suddenly you got really strong all of a sudden, and then you kind of had a dip. And when you had the dip, I think that is when a bunch of things just, it would be almost like if you were on a roller coaster, right? And you went up on this one hill, and as you were going up, like maybe the roller coaster actually leaves the track and is supposed to fly over to another one. You know that, you know, you're gonna come back down on the track, but right now you're up in the air. Right now you're up in the air. There's only a little bit that, I mean, it literally only has a piece about this big where the carborundum, the ribbon is touching the carborundum, and the ribbon is sideways on it as well. So I'm going to say this. You need to do everything you can to detox your space, right? Cleanse it, spray it, sage it. I don't know. You need to do everything you can to detox your space, because that's just a little teeny tiny touch right there. And then it goes right back down. Carborundum is an interesting thing because don't look at me yawn. It banishes negativity. So for it to just barely be touching it right there, that tells me that when this, you're up in the air with this, all of the bad things. And the other thing I want to say to be careful with is, the other thing that I love about carborundum is that yes, it shields. Yes, it cuts off negativity and sends it back, but it also promotes manifestation. So while you're up in the air and all of the worst case scenarios are going through your head, you speak all of them into existence. It might short circuit the universe, but those are manifestation. And I know, I think I missed a comment. You got bad news at your husband's doctor on Friday. I am really sorry. I'm really sorry. So this all really hits home then, doesn't it? I know that, don't watch me on. Anytime there is real bad. Okay. Anytime there is anytime there's news of any type. Hi, YouTube. We all want to talk about the good and the bad. We all want to talk about the good and the bad. We all want to talk about, you know, worst case scenario, best case scenario. because we want to be prepared and we want to talk about it. Because we're going into this full moon on Monday, and this full moon on Monday is really intense, be really careful in talking about worst case scenario. Okay? Just for right now. Just for right now. Just for a couple of days. Because I'm real sorry. I'm real sorry. Be careful with what it is that you're saying this weekend, the rest of this week. Be careful with all of the things that a lot of these too. But I would see if you can kind of table it a little bit as much as possible. I'm not saying don't talk about it. I'm not saying don't talk about it, you know, if it gets to be too much and you just have to talk about it. But sometimes when, especially you get a bad diagnosis, a hard diagnosis, or bad news, medically, it's hard to not talk about it. And a lot of times, especially with medical stuff, we automatically think the worst with everything. We don't really sit and go, oh man, you know what? I've got the big C. Like, man, I'm gonna, I mean, some people joke about it, you know, but you don't really have a positive outlook when that stuff happens. So my advice is going to be this. And this is going to be hard, and you're welcome to let him listen to this. My advice is going to be this. I don't know when he has to go back to the doctor, or, you know, when you guys have whatever, your next appointments or whatever. This weekend, of course I had a yawn right there. This weekend, just take a step back. I know that you can't pretend like everything is hunky-dory. Okay? It's got a blockage in the right side of brain. Okay. Okay. This weekend, just take a step back. Just take a step back. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. I know that's easier said than done. Try to be as normal as possible. You know, talk about it tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. But this, I will say this. My sister had an aneurysm kind of behind away after our mom passed away. And just the advancements that they had made then to treat things like that were crazy phenomenal. I'm sure that they will have an amazing plan to be able to help him with that. And then, hey, he can make the joke that somebody touched his brain. My sister makes that joke all the time. Somebody touched her brain. I always tell her she's nicer now that somebody touched her brain. He has spells that are like mini strokes and he gets lost. We'll see what you can do this weekend to just be as normal as possible for you and him. Just be as normal as possible. Joke about it. Make light of it. You know, I mean, yes, it's serious. Yes, it's something to worry about it. But right now, in the moment, keeping him safe and keeping him calm and keeping him happy, those are the things you should be worrying about. Have a good weekend. I know that's easier said than done, but seriously, put it in your brain. We're going to have a good weekend. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to watch a movie. We're going to binge watch this show or that show, you know. Find something that the two of you can do together that allows you to just kind of back off from the rest of the world a little bit. Okay? He's 66 and the most amazing man ever. Aww. Aww. That's the sweetest thing, Bobbie. Seriously, that is the sweetest thing. It is. It's the sweetest thing. I would say, why am I yawning so much? But I know, because it's been a long day. Do you do simmer pots, Bobbie? You are so welcome. Do you do simmer pots? Even if you don't, this might be a good weekend to do one. It's spooky season. It'll officially be October, so, you know. Yes, ma'am, you love them. Okay. My recommendation would be to go get an orange, a pinch of ginger or rosemary. I prefer ginger, but rosemary works really good too. But put all of that together and just let it simmer on the stove for a little bit this weekend, and just let it fill the house with that smell. By the way, that smells fantastic. For those of you guys that didn't catch that, it is orange. Get a fresh orange, or dried oranges if you guys have a dehydrator or whatever. So orange, clove, cinnamon. A cinnamon stick works the best. And then a pinch, teeny tiny little pinch of ginger or rosemary. Don't put ginger and rosemary, and be careful if you put rosemary, like seriously a little bit, because it will overwhelm it. But that together smells like fall, and it will make you happy. I'm not gonna lie. It will make you happy. It'll make you happy. Even if it's just for a minute. You have ground and fresh, which is better. Ground and fresh, what? Yeah, if you're allergic to cinnamon, maybe don't use it. Ground and fresh ginger. Fresh ginger is going to smell stronger. Yeah, fresh ginger is going to smell stronger. If you're allergic to cinnamon, use ginger instead. Dude, I would be so upset if I was allergic to cinnamon. I would be so upset if I was allergic to cinnamon. All right, let me get going on Lauren's. Lauren is my last one for the evening, and then we're all going to be good, responsible adults and go to bed. I can't even say that with a straight face. Because we all know we're going to sit and scroll on TikTok. Y'all feel free to tag me in the videos. In the funny videos, in the witchy videos, tag me in the things. I haven't been putting out a lot of content lately, but one more ticket after. Okay, hang on. Let me look. Let me make sure. There's Lauren. Oh, you're right. Lauren and then Tatiana. You got it. Thank you, Christine. You can't go to sleep. You're at work. Yeah, don't go to sleep, Lauren. All right, ready? Thank you, Christine. Aw. I love you right back, Bobbie. Well, that's interesting. I almost want to ask you if you lost somebody recently. The way that this is, it like, why am I yelling? The way that this is, it curves, like it starts and then it curves up and it goes in between the carborundum and the brick and then around, like it caresses the brick. It just like follows it all around. And then where the crease is, it goes right onto the blue kyanite. And then kind of does this cute little thing over like this. This is somebody trying to get your attention. This is somebody that's past, that's trying to get your attention. Somebody that you know, somebody that would have specific things that you would know it was them. They don't want to tell me, so let me just kind of describe some things here, and maybe it'll help, okay? Let me not blow on it. This is somebody that 100% didn't live by the rules. It's not that they felt the rules didn't apply to them, but if somebody was like, nope, you got to sit in that chair, they would be like, nope, I'm going to stand. You know, like they just didn't want to be told what to do. They didn't live by the rules. I really feel like this is a lady. I really feel like this is a lady because I keep wanting to say she. They did not live by the rules at all. They also had, even though they were very boisterous on the outside, they had a really, really, I don't want to say depressive aspect to them. A heavy inner aspect. There we go. Why do I also feel like they're really tall? But of course I'm short, so everybody's taller than me, but they really connected with family a lot. Like they always had somebody over at their house. They always were calling to check on everybody. I also feel like this lady was alone a lot towards the end, and was always on the phone, always calling everybody, always on the phone, always checking in on everybody, etc. This also was the lady of the family that was able to keep everybody else calm. Even if it was yelling at them, she was able to keep everybody else calm. The thing that I want to say specifically about her, though, is her presence is humongous. Like, I know that I said I felt she was tall. In my mind, she's like 7-8 foot tall. And no, that's not correct. But she's very tall with herself, with her energy, etc. Everything is very big with her. And not in an overbearing way. It's just that you didn't cuss in front of her. You didn't say bad things. You didn't do anything like that. But what I find interesting is that this curls around like pretty short, especially in the last 3 days. And I don't know why I specifically needed to say 3 days, but she's been around you a lot in the last 3 days. She has been one or there or do this or do that. She is not a very gentle guide. There we go. I think in life she was a little more gentle with it, but still would be like, oh, you don't want to do that, do you? You know, or maybe you should go here, or you should go to school for this. Like, she was very plain with her words and what she thought about everything, like very plain with it, very straightforward with it. But like I said, she was also the one that grounded everybody. I think you also take after her a lot. And I think that she sees that in you, that you take after her. The fact that this right here is so closely just, I mean, it almost traces that brick. This is also somebody that I don't know if they went to church a lot, were super religious, or if they just had their own specific practice of devotion and reading the Bible and prayer and so on. But this is somebody that really and truly believed in all of that, all of those things. She believed completely in family and keeping family close and family strong. She keeps wanting me to talk about family, but she doesn't want me to do or say much else. Oh, what's up with emerald green? She just showed me a big, huge swatch, like a really deep, gorgeous emerald green. I don't know if this is a favorite color or what. I mean, like, it's big. It just, like, filled my whole vision, the color emerald green. It's your grandma? I don't know. Like, I couldn't put a term on the zodiac, but very family oriented, very mega family oriented. Like, her entire life revolved. It's funny, I heard the words that she made. So I don't know if she used to make jokes about, that she made you, she made your mom, she made your dad, or whoever. I don't know if she used to make jokes about that or whatever, but she just made that. So did this very interesting back and forth. So it tells me that there was an interesting family dynamic there where one person would be the favorite and then someone else would be the favorite. And maybe not of hers, but like in the family in general. Like, this person kind of was the one that did everything, and now it's this person. And what I think is really interesting about it is, okay, the family, so you understood what I was saying. The family fell apart after she passed. So you understand then what I'm saying when it's like, this person's in charge and now this person's in charge. Okay. So you understood exactly what I was saying. Now I don't remember what else I was saying. Shit. Shit. Even though she comes across as very strong and very strong-willed, I don't think that she was mean at all. I think that if she ever said anything unkind, it was like, oh, bless your heart. Like, I think that was her way of being unkind. I think that there were some times that things that she would say might come across a little harsh, but I think that if she ever thought that a child or a grandchild thought she was being mean, I think that it would have crushed her. I think that it would have crushed her. I'm being told to talk about this again, about her being the one to kind of ground everybody back down, calm everybody back down, and then also to be the one to kind of dispel rumors, dispel any kind of bullshit at all that went with anything with the family. She also wants to mention that you two are a lot alike. Whereas she was the one that kind of made sure everybody in the family got together for, events or holidays or whatever, and she kind of kept tags on everybody. Well, now that you're saying bless your heart, I don't know if you mean my southern grandma or my northern grandma. Yeah, it's definitely bless your heart. So it's that kind of, I want to say backhanded compliment, like, oh, bless your heart, look at your clothes. Like that kind of, you're a crazy amount like her. She wants me to point out, not only are you a crazy amount like her, but you have that ability to kind of ground and calm everybody else down around you, just like she did. The problem with that is that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time, because getting people to, shut the hell up and to listen or to do what they're supposed to do, especially if you don't have, decades of experience and just given the look. She just wants me to keep acknowledging that you are so much like her. And it's weird because she wants me to keep acknowledging it, that you are so much like her. She just showed me a long black skirt. It looks more modern. Like, it's got a waistband about like that. It comes down and it almost has like a bell shape to it. It flares out just a little bit at the bottom. I don't understand why she's showing me that. She showed me the emerald green again, and I don't know what that means. The other thing too is I was sitting, the 19 that I've done so far, this is the first time that like someone has came through as a mediumship read. So then I'm like, well, why would she at this time come through to speak to you? And it's because there is something you've been like flat out blatantly on purpose ignoring that can't be ignored anymore. And this is like she literally keeps like poking you, pushing you, like do it, stop it, stop it, do it, do it. It's the weirdest thing because I keep hearing stop it and I keep hearing go, like stop it, do it, stop it, do it, stop it, stop it. Maybe it's saying no to the thing, or I don't know what it is, but it's stop it, stop it, stop it, do it, do it, do it. She also speaks very in these very quick little phrases to me. Like I feel like she did like to talk, and I feel like she was a talker, but I feel like she had a very specific like cadence. Dizzy, because this isn't my normal dizziness. She's making me really dizzy. I keep hitting this rock. I'm so sorry. Yeah, she has a very specific cadence to her voice. I also feel like she has super dark hair. Like almost black. Waiting for Lauren to respond over there. I know you're at work, so I'm trying not to be like, Lauren. This makes sense why your device has been acting up for about an hour now. Yes, it does. She was just waiting patiently for me to quit talking my ass off and get to you. Okay. No, I take that back. Because as soon as I said that, even though I was joking, she was like, no, I waited my turn. Does the dark hair ring a bell? Because she's showing me someone with really, really dark hair. It's been very choppy. Gotcha. There's obviously something that she's trying to get across to you, Lauren. Obviously, a message or something. My advice would be this. When you, yes, dark hair. Okay. Like almost black. It's really pretty. Like absolutely gorgeous pretty. She also showed me in like, it's like in a booth. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like, it's a booth. Asking her to come speak to you in your sleep when you're a little more open, but just set like Native American dark. Yes. Yeah, like blue-black almost colors. Southern grandma then for sure. Okay. I would ask her if she could come and talk to you in your sleep. I would just put very clear parameters on it that you only want to speak to her and that you're not going to entertain anything or anybody else that is not in your highest good and so on. And I would say, you know, you may have to do this a couple of nights or a couple of times before she, like, even though she's not really giving me information anymore or talking anymore, she's literally like right there, just watching. She stands really interesting, like with her hands down in front of her like this. Like she's got her hands like this. Does that make sense? Like she showed me that she's just standing waiting and she's got her hands like this, but she's got one fist like this and then the other fist over it like this. I don't know if that makes sense. But I felt like I needed to say that because she's standing in a very, very particular way waiting. So I would recommend speaking to her in your sleep. Just like I said, put very clear parameters on it. There's obviously something that she needs to speak to you about. Obviously something she needs to speak to you about. And she didn't want to tell me, which is fine. Which is fine. So, she's interesting. She's interesting. You are so welcome. Yeah, I think if you reach out and open that up, I don't know if you ever talked to her about spiritual stuff, but I would not be surprised to know that she was a dream walker, that she was very talented with dreams and stuff like that. Or maybe you did talk to her about it and she would tell you about dreams and clairvoyant dreams and prophecies, and I knew that this was going to happen, or there was even a term for it, you know, I had the dream, or if she had the sight or something like that, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised, Lauren. Now that's interesting. It hasn't done that all night. It went like around and up and down and then curled. There's a lot of chaotic energy. What's going on, girl? What's going on? Okay, so the start of it is right here. It is on top of the quartz. And it goes up. Like it goes up the epido, which is, you know, the personal power and transformation. And then it comes like literally up in the air over here to the abundance and the protection, up in the air again onto that. There's a lot of air. There's a lot of air. I gotta sneeze. Let me not fuck it up. This is a lot of air. I mean, air is communication. Air is a lot of intuition and psychic abilities. Yeah, it doesn't touch the brick right there. It just barely touches the brick there. I took my glasses off because they were hurting my eyeballs. They're hurting my head. Yeah, it just barely touches, just right there. And the rest of it is floating. So I'm going to say this. I feel like there's a lot of changing and shifting going on with you in here. Well, you can't really see me on the camera right now, but in your third eye, in your head. When you go through intense changes and shifts, it's going to feel like everything is just topsy-turvy, upside down, craziness, straight up, straight sideways. Like it's just insane, right? And I feel like that's what all this is, because it's like a zigzag and then it goes down and then it goes over and it goes down again and it curls back up. Like this is a lot. So a lot of times when we're on a really intense in a way that we don't expect. And I will say this. I've been doing what I've been doing a long time. And in the last year, especially since like last Halloween, last Samhain, I have watched a lot of gifts come up with people that are like composite gifts, where they're pieces of different gifts, kind of like this stone. It's aventurine, it's quartz, it's pyrite all together, and there are little pieces of it. It's a composite. So I'm watching people have these intense gifts that are not, they don't fit into something normal, like clairvoyance. Oh, I have clairvoyant dreams. Or empathy. I'm really empathic. You know, it's not something that has an easy little quick name like that. There are these weird hybrids. And they come with this crazy intense energy, like up and down and sideways and back and forth and inside out, like this crazy ass energy. So I'd be willing to bet, seeing this ribbon, that here lately, like, and sometimes it can change from like minute to minute. It's not even something that continues to happen, okay, for this week or, you know, this 2-week period. You know, I felt really calm and magical. And then this 2-week period, I felt really grounded. It's like a moment to moment change and shift like this. And I would bet that A, it's wearing you out, and B, you're starting to feel like you're a little crazy and you're not sure like what color grippy socks you want to wear. But I want to say this. There's not any calming aspects to this. And even though this curls right here, it does touch the carborundum, and then it literally comes back up this way. That's a lot of air, a lot of communication. Yes, you feel like that all the time. More to the point, you've been staying home, or, oh, I'm sorry. I 100% understand staying home be this, because this is an intensive amount of energy. The opposite of air is fire. So I'm going to recommend, if you can, if you have a little fire pit, to light you a fire this weekend, especially as the full moon's coming up, and enjoy just watching the flames. Or light you a candle and sit there, a decent sized candle, and just watch the flame. If you can't do either one of those things, or if you just like this other option better, this is what I usually do when I feel like I'm over communicating, like my throat chakra is too open. I will put on like a fireplace thing on YouTube and just listen to the fire crackle, like while I'm working or while I'm sleeping or whatever. Because if that air aspect is too open, you have to do something to balance it out. So if the air is way up here and the fire is down here, you have to do something to balance them out, because you're going to be over communicating. You're going to say a lot of stuff that people don't need to know. You felt like that since you're younger, but it's gotten stronger. Got it. You're going to over communicate, say a lot of things people don't need to know. Drive yourself nuts with how much you want to communicate, things like that. So you have to start kind of getting that more like this, more balanced out. So I would highly recommend just putting a fireplace on YouTube and listening to it during the day, or listen to it at night. The other thing that will kind of scratch that itch of needing to communicate all the time is listening to audiobooks while you sleep. Very boring audiobooks. You've been getting a weird feeling in your throat lately. Well, hopefully you're not getting sick. Make sure you get checked out. Hopefully you're not getting sick. But listening to audiobooks, a very boring audiobook, and here's what I recommend. Listen to some, and you can find a ton of free ones on YouTube and stuff like that. But listen to some that are going to help you with your spiritual path, with your magical self, or with you growing as a person. There's a lot of really interesting philosophical books that are on YouTube, that a lot of the ancient philosophers. I love me some Aristotle. I love me some nihilism. I love me some stoicism. I love me all of that stuff, but it's dry. So it is great to sleep to. It's great to sleep to, because your brain will still absorb it in. But an airy feeling. Okay. I understand. I would say I understand what you're saying with that. It's an airy. I don't remember what frequency it is. 963. It'd be 741. 741 is your throat chakra frequency. So you could also listen to that, some of the 741, or just look up throat chakra, throat chakra frequency on YouTube, and you'll find some that you can listen to during the day too. But that's what I'd recommend. I think that it's just really out of whack, and you have a really interesting gift that's developed and is coming on stronger. Dude, this energy is chaotic, and it's a lot. And I can see where it would easily get really intensely overwhelming. Just saying. Sometimes a lot of these fixes are easier than we make them, myself included. Don't think that I'm sitting here telling you guys you have to do this and then I don't do it. There are so many times that I think, oh my God, like it has to be this crazy intense thing, and it has to be so much, and it has to be this and this and this and this and this. And really, I just need to go take a spiritual bath. Really, I just need to listen to some frequencies while I sleep. Really, I just need to, I'm too grounded. I need to be in some water, or, sometimes it's way easier than we let it be. Okay? Does that make sense? Tell my kid good night. Oh, you thought, no. One of the fun things about a gift popping up, those little things first. Try those little things first. You know, while you're sleeping tonight, play that 741 frequency. Maybe, and you can even play it real low. You don't have to have it loud. You can play it real low, but play music with the 741 frequency. That'll help with that throat chakra. It'll kind of help balance it out. Or listen to a fireplace crackling. Just hearing that, you know it's a fire, so you know that it's a campfire or whatever in a fireplace, etc. That will help calm it down. Like, start there first. Start there first. See if that helps before we try other big things. Does that make sense? Start with the little things first. So funny you said that about fireplace crackling, because you used to listen to that to sleep. Oh! I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right, guys. Well, with that, I'm going to get off of here and go to bed. Aw. Thank you, Tatiana. I appreciate that. I'm going to get off here and go take a hot shower and go to bed. And I hope that you guys all do the same. Have a good evening. Don't sit on YouTube or TikTok and scroll. I know you're gonna. Because I'm probably gonna. But, that being said, y'all have a good night. Okay?